my cue.
Nice cadence. Almost drew Miami offside, and now it's Conniff the fullback. And he rumbled.
It's probably one of the most talented backfields I've had, and this is my 13th year. You know, again, when you have a 4-year starter at quarterback who can throw the ball as well as run it with the speed that he has, he puts a lot of pressure on the defense.
And big key, I think, is our quarterback offensively, Matt Berman. Will be his first start as a varsity player. He started last year on the JV, and did a real nice job on the JVs last year. But again, he's starting off in a real big game against one of the best teams in the county. So he's going to be one that we'll be keeping an eye on.
We'll see if the strategies work. Well, the butterflies are churning in the stomachs of all these players and the two coaches. We'll see what strategy works best. Opening kickoff coming up just a bit.
If anything is more frustrating than golf, it's getting your company's telecommunications right. Some say missed deadlines and outdated technologies are par for the course. At LightPath, we say frustration may be unavoidable in golf, but it's unacceptable in business. So we work with you to customize the perfect communication solution. Frustration. It's designed into every golf course and eliminated from every LightPath solution. LightPath. Voice, data, internet, real human beings.
Negative campaign tactics, personal attacks, distortion. Every time politicians use negative tactics, they smear the very meaning of America. Now is the time to tell politicians, keep it clean. The future is in your hands. Support positive political campaigns. Tell your candidates to keep it clean.
We are back at McCalman Field, and Scarsdale and Nyack were so anxious to get off this season to a roaring start. They couldn't even wait for our commercial break. Thus is life. Big run right there by Nyack. First down. Coach, Nyack's offense, they're the thing we're watching tonight.
Well, they started out first play of the game, and Scarsdale came out very aggressively, stopped them for a 1-yard gain, and then they popped a nice 10-yarder off the left tackle for a first down.
Okay, so it was a 1st and 10 at the 43 for the Nyack Indians. Ronnie King, the all-world quarterback behind center, and he hands off to number 32. That's Jason Alcine. He's the workhorse, and he is still rumbling. And I believe that very close to a first down. He just might have a first down.
Well, as we said last week, all last season, he averaged 6 yards a carry, and he's getting 9 on those two, so that's a great advantage right off the bat.
And if we can take a look at the Nyack backs, the star, Ronnie King, he's their quarterback. He's their Mr. Do-Everything 4-year starter. Great athlete, plays baseball, plays football, plays basketball, so he certainly is the catalyst for this team. He's back under center, and that was a first down. Back to the run, again, number 34, and there's a huge hole breaking out, another first down. Nyack early in the game, run it down. And if you take a look at the offensive starters here for Nyack, again, such a senior-laden team. Basically, if they play up to their potential, you see the line, you see the backs. Scarsdale certainly could be in for a long game. Another first down. They're rolling on the 33-yard line. 1st and 10. King leads them out yet again. They're in the familiar wing tee. King with a fake. He goes back to attempt his first pass, and it's a bomb for the end zone. Caught for the touchdown by 34. That is Darren Beeman. Just like that, less than 3 minutes into the game, Nyack strikes quickly.
Well, that's what they do. They burn you quickly. As we said, he's the real deal, Darren Beeman. He just caught a 35-yard touchdown pass, and we'll get it up here again in a minute, but he's just... Ronnie King had all the world in time to throw that ball, and can't miss it. Just a great football player all the way around.
Yeah, Ronnie King really put that ball up beautifully, perfect spiral. That was his first pass of the season. If every pass is like that, we could be looking at a Hall of Fame player in high school. And here as they line up for the extra point, the kicker, a sophomore, Nigel Morris. And it is up. Not so pretty, but it's good. It is 7-0. Nyack with the early lead.
Well, the kick was low, but they all count the same.
Here's the replay coming up on this play off tackle. After the off tackle play, and they have a beautiful play action pass for a 6-pointer.
Yeah, it really is perfect, beautiful. And Beeman coming out of the backfield, you know, he's a running back, he's a receiver, he can do everything. He, in the preseason, one of the Super 11 best players in Section 1.
Yeah, and that's the thing, too, about the wing T. You can throw the ball to anybody. You actually have, you know, 5 eligible receivers, and that's what makes it very deadly. And, boy, if Ronnie King can strike like that all the time, he's in for a great season, and so are the Nyack Indians.
And as a coach, you're coaching Bob Keith, you're coaching Scarsdale. It's 2 minutes and 49 seconds into your season. You're down 7-0. What do you say?
Well, you just say, suck it up and let's go, and let's turn it around on offense. It's like I told you in the pregame. They've got to go out and control the ball a little bit, and they've got to hold on to it.
And now, as Scarsdale's going to kick off for the first time, Ronnie King, their quarterback, he is the kicker for the kickoff. Nigel Morris does do the place kicking. But when I talked to Coach Kaz, when we talked to Coach Kaz, that's John Castellano this week, he said, Ronnie kicks and then he stays back. I don't want him touching anyone. I don't want him tackling. I don't want him getting hurt.
Well, that's why he's not on the defense. But in actuality, he's one of the best athletes they have. He could start at safety or halfback for this team and do a super job. But Coach C doesn't want him to do that.
All right, King with the kickoff. It is fielded by the 20, going to the short side. And what a tackle! Coming down with a house of fire, Sean Harris. He's a 5'8", 180-pound senior. Just a monster hit by Sean Harris.
That's their better ball player, Steve Giannicelli, and Nyack hits him like that all night. It might be a long night, but let's see what Scarsdale can do now, because I think they can move the ball a little bit and open it up for him.
And their key, Matt Berman, their quarterback in his first ever varsity start. Tough way to start it off, but we'll see what he's made of. Coach was very impressed with him in practice, says he throws the ball really well. First and 10, and right away we have flags. Has to be an illegal procedure. The whole left side of the line moved.
Well, remember what we said in the pregame about jitters, and that's certainly what happened right there. The whole left side moved, plus one of the up backs.
Yeah, not the way you want to get started. Certainly with only 3 returning players who had any experience for Scarsdale. The key is to minimize the mistakes, not the way you want to start. First and 15, they're backing up, and, you know, certainly I think Nyack knows that I think they may be able to sense a little fear in Scarsdale.
Yeah, you look up in those lights, and sometimes that scares you, too.
All right, so it's a first and 15 after the illegal procedure. Matt Berman under center. He has one back. That's Giannicelli behind him. He's going right to the air. Tries the slant for number 27. And number 27 for the Scarsdale offense, that is his number 1 split end, Alec Huffnagel, and he was not able to make the play. No completion, second and 15. Here's a look at some of the Scarsdale backs, the Scarsdale starters. You can see Matt Berman going into the huddle and then coming out in order to get the play. They don't have anyone shuttle in. He goes straight to the sideline to get it from Coach Keith.
That seems to be a pattern in Westchester coaches. I don't know where that came from, but a lot of coaches in Westchester do that.
Okay, second and 15. In motion is Giannicelli, and they run it right up to the gut. Really no gain at all. That'll be third and 13. And if you look at the Nyack defensive starters, the heart of their line is Marty McGinnis. He's a defensive captain. He is a 3-year starter, not a big guy, only 5'10", 205, but he's the monster in the middle. And then Alcine and Beeman, we talked about him on offense. They're studs defensively.
Yeah, and what they try to do is to try to rush slant plays to McGinnis, and that frees up Beeman and Alcine to make the tackle. They got a superb secondary, too.
Third and 13 for Scarsdale here. Their first offensive possession of 2000. Certainly a passing situation. And Berman goes back to pass, tries to throw the slant, and it's wide open. Huffnagel with the reception, and I believe he may have a first down at the 41. Berman looked pretty good on that throw, hung in the pocket and fired a strike for the first down.
Well, if he didn't make the first down, it's awfully close. He did make it.
Yeah, as you can see, Berman with a quick throw right into the middle of the field. Huffnagel standing tall. He's a big kid, 6 feet, 170, maybe slight of build, but he's a big target in there, and Berman nailed it right in.
Well, he was one of the players that Coach Keith highlighted. He said that for us to win, he has to have a big ball game. That's a great start for Berman, too.
So Berman with his first completion of the season, his first completion ever as a varsity quarterback, and it's first and 10 for the Red Raiders. Berman back yet again to pass, and he's going to Huffnagel yet again. Reception, nice tackle, open field tackle by Sean Harris. Coach Cass said he was the best open field tackler on the team, but that's a nice gain of 7. 2nd and 3. Tell us about it, Coach.
Well, it was just a quick hitch pattern, and great job by the quarterback, Matt Berman, because he gets the ball off on a 1 or 2 step drop, a quick delivery, and a great 8-yard gain.
So it'll be 2nd and 3, and as a young offense, these are the situations you want.
Well, right now they're giving Berman plenty of time to throw that quick pass. Now, whether he'll have that same time to throw a deep one, we're not sure.
Berman back yet again, and certainly going to the air, and it's high, and Huffnagel yet again. If you only need to know 2 names on the Scarsdale offense, it certainly looks like Berman and Huffnagel. That's the 4th time they have connected thus far.
And everything is that just 1 or 2 step drop and a good overhand delivery. He's really putting the ball on the money. I'm impressed with Berman. And you consider he's a junior, never been in there before. It's been great.
Absolutely. Huffnagel, they're basically playing off him. They probably are going with a zone thus far in the defensive backfield because he's been open by 4 or 5 yards on every play. They need to get up on him. He's obviously the #1 option. Yet again, we have a penalty flag. Scarsdale's clapping. It looks like it may be an offside. Dead ball foul. Yes, it's offside. So it'll be 1st and 5 down at the 34-yard line after a penalty.
Defense, still first down.
And here we can look at the officials here. The ever erstwhile and always important Zebras, led by Jack Rinaldi and his crew. They're in for a good one tonight under the Friday night lights. 1st and 5 for Scarsdale at the 37. Berman under center, and they try to run right up the gut. Once again, a great open field tackle by Anthony Evans. Rob Maskin on the carry. It looked like he would have daylight, maybe a 1st down, but a great tackle.
So that's a counter play, and if you notice, the man in motion came back and helped block for that play. I'm impressed with this offense. They're starting to open it up a little bit. They don't seem to be too intimidated by that first score in Nyack, and I give Coach Keith a lot of credit. He's got his kids doing what he expects to do. Now, even if they don't score a touchdown, they're in great position, and they'll make Nyack go the long way.
All right, 3rd and 4, big play. Can this drive continue? Berman under center. 1 back behind him. Certainly look from the 4 wide-out type positions that this will be a pass. Berman goes back, and it's a quarterback draw, and Berman with plenty of daylight makes a great move. Slides down like every quarterback should. He's down at the 26. 1st down, Scarsdale.
Well, he's the key right now, isn't he? He's been the involvement person in every play that they've run. He's either thrown it well, and that time he ran it, I'm really impressed. I'm a little shocked, too, I got to tell you, Craig. I didn't really expect a first-time player to be able to step in and do this against Nyack under the lights.
And definitely good play calling by Coach Keith and his staff. They've gone back the past 5, 6, 7 times. That time, Berman showing that he's a threat to run. Got 10 yards, slid down because obviously he's the key to the season. We don't want him getting concussion. 1st down at the 21. And now quick step drop, and again to Huffnagel. A little bit of a bad pass, and actually that's a good thing now is a bad pass because number 25, Sean Harris, was all over that. He could have intercepted that and taken back for 6.
That's a quick screen, actually. It's a play where the receiver's going to step back, and it was a double set. There was another blocker out in front of him. The ball was a little behind him, but if it isn't, the other guy gets in front and makes the pass, the block for him, and it has a good chance.
So it's 2nd and 10. They're at the 26-yard line. 7-0 Nyack with the lead. 5:57 remaining in this 1st quarter. Nyack went a quick strike on their offensive possession. Beeman with a big touchdown pass. Reception from Ronnie King. Berman under center, goes back to pass. 3-step drop. Sees Huffnagel again, and Huffnagel going for the 1st down. He has it. Tackled by Sean Harris, but that's a 12-yard gain. And Berman and Huffnagel doing what they got to do. That's their 6th hookup thus far on this drive.
Awesome. What's impressive about it is they've driven the ball for 60 yards right down the field.
So Berman goes to the sideline, get the play again. I think Coach Cass, the coach of Nyack, has to say to one of his defensive players, one of his defensive backs, you got to play Huffnagel from the moment he steps out there, from the moment he goes out. You can't give him a 5. Look, again, a 10-yard cushion. They're taking advantage of that cushion, and he's making the plays. Now it looks like an option, and a great play, and he stripped. We could have a fumble. We do have a fumble. Nyack saying he had it. The referees run, and we have a little rugby scrum, and yes, Nyack with the turnover. So a great drive comes apart with the vicious turnover. They tried the option play. I believe it was they got it to the fullback, but he fumbles. Good job on the interior line by Nyack. They bend, but they didn't break.
Yeah, they did give the ball to the fullback, and he got 3 yards gain, and then he got gang tackled, and he stripped him. But you know what, Craig? That was a tremendous morale boost for that team. They took the ball, they drove it 60 yards down the field. Granted, they didn't score a touchdown, but that was the best thing that could have happened to Scarsdale. Now they got to make Nyack go 80 yards for a score, and I really think that's going to help them out mentally.
And let's see if they can do a better job of stopping Ronnie King and his compatriots. It doesn't look like it. Jason Alcine busting through the middle off the hand up. That looks like a 14, 15-yard gain out to the 34. Coach, nobody laid a hand on him until he was 6 yards down the field. You can't have that and expect to stop one of the best running backs in Section 1.
Well, that's the bread and butter belly play. If you can't stop the belly in the wing T, you're in trouble. You got the lead back, Darren Beeman, in front of you blocking, 200-pounder. Alcine's a great back. He chows it out for 12 yards, and as you say, you've got to start making some plays on first down on defense.
And Ronnie King back up to the huddle. Nyack not spending too much time in the huddle. They're getting right back. And Ronnie King looks like he's leading the option, and yes, he is. And Ronnie King taking the ball. He goes outside. He has a first down, and now he pitches to Beeman. Beeman to the 50, out of bounds at the 46. Great job by Ronnie King. He held the ball past the line of scrimmage. He got the first down himself, and then Beeman was still running with him. That's the way you run the option.
I was about to say, that was a training film. That was awesome. That was just, everything was executed to perfection. Great fake inside, keeper by the QB, break down the corner. Just about when you're going to get hit, pitch the ball. I didn't even see the pitch. It was done so well, and Beeman got an additional 10 yards, and already they're down across the 50-yard line.
It was done well, and your 30-something-year-old eyes had a little trouble seeing that far of the field. But we'll get to that later. Anyways, first down for Nyack, driving yet again. They've chewed up 35 yards in only 2 plays. First and 10. Ronnie King with the handoff. This time, the little scat back, number 6, that's Anthony Evans, and he is breaking it, and he's still going to the 20, to the 15. He's finally knocked out, looks like at the 17, 18-yard line, but there is a penalty flag down at the 20, 25-yard run by the little scat back, Anthony Evans. He's a substitute. He's not even their starting tailback, but they put him in at halfback. Look at him go. But it's a personal foul against the offense, and that will come back plus 15 yards.
If you remember what I said in the pregame about Darren Beeman only carrying the ball 7 times a game, that's why we have such a surplus of backs here in Nyack that they just keep mixing them up and throwing new blood in there, and it's really an outstanding offense. And when you can just replace a player with another good one, boy, that's awesome.
Okay, we're going to listen to the ref.
They have a personal foul, flip, against Nyack, and still first down.
That's a huge play, and actually that is done, I believe that's done from the spot of the foul. So the foul is down, was way downfield, so it's a first down and 8 as opposed to a first and 25. Different than how it's done at the professional level. Right up the gut goes Beeman, and he is stopped. I guess he stopped at the 45, and I'm sorry, that was Jason Alcine. And we can look right now at Ronnie King. We've talked about him at length already, but a 4-year starter, maybe the best athlete on the team. That always helps when he's a quarterback. He threw for 600 yards and 8 TDs last year, ran for a TD, obviously a great athlete, and as we saw thus far, he threw a great 35-yard pass, and he ran 15 yards and then passed off. He has the complete package.
He certainly is.
We have second down. It looks like 1 yard, and Alcine gets it yet again, and he is off. And he's moving, cuts back right. He's at the 20, he's at the 15, he's at the 10, he's at the 5. He is knocked out of bounds at the 3-yard line. Alcine showing he has a couple moves. He's not just 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
And that just came off the base belly play again. He just reverse pivoted and ran left, and he cuts back against the grain and makes a nice 30-yard gain. And
Alcine may be a little bit upset. In the preseason Super 11, Darren Beeman gets first team. He gets honorable mention, does Alcine. Maybe he wants to get first team.
Yeah, and again, on this replay, you'll see that this is the belly play. Reverse pivot, give the ball to Jason Alcine. He goes off tackle, cuts back against the grain, and takes it for a 30-yard gain.
Nyack looking to build on their 7-0 lead. Ronnie King gives it to Beeman. He looks to go wide, and it doesn't look like anyone will stop him. Touchdown, but we have a flag that looks like that'll be a hold on either Beeman or the wide out over there. Rafael De La Cruz, we will see. Beeman was untouched, but let's look at what the referee has to say. Referee Jack Rinaldi issuing a hold that'll be 10 yards. When a wide receiver blocks that good and he's that open, it looks like it has to be a hold.
Holding, Nyack, still first down.
Well,
so it'll be first
unfortunately, Craig, they got to have more than defensive holding or offensive holding to stop them. They've got to get together on defense and make a play here.
And if we look at Jason Alcine, he's done most of the damage thus far in this game, in this first half on the ground. Last season, 792 yards, 15 touchdowns. He's a big kid, 6'2", 200-pound senior. So 1st and 11 at the 11. Still first to go. Ronnie King rolling, looking to pass. Diving effort by Rafael De La Cruz, but he can't bring it in. That time, King, nice throw. He put it where only De La Cruz could catch it, couldn't come up.
This is just a sprint out play with Ronnie King rolling to his right and breaking down the corner a little bit. If you looked at this play closely, he could have run the ball as well as thrown it. He did throw it, and he threw it just like you said, low and outside, just like a pitcher does. Gives only one person a chance to catch it, but it ends up hitting the ground, so it's incomplete and brings up 2nd down. And as you'll see, Rafael De La Cruz coming out of the game, the way that Nyack runs its offense, their one split end is the guy who brings in and shuttles into play, so he is replaced by Shenley Vital. 2nd down, and they're running, and now the inside pitch to Darren Beeman. Beeman up the gut. Beeman breaking tackles. Beeman fumbles the ball, and it looks like Nyack has recovered. Yeah, I believe one of the down linemen picked it up, Greg.
Yeah, that's Ted Renee picking it up, and when you're 6'1" and 280 and you pick up the ball, I don't think anyone takes it from you.
Yeah, that was a great example of the inside handoff on the inside reverse. This is just a basic inside reverse off the wing T. You fake the ball to the halfback, and then the other halfback comes back, makes an inside handoff, and he made nice yardage, and then he got hit and fumbled the ball.
Yeah, Beeman really had a spectacular year last year with 9 touchdowns, and as you said, an 11-yard average. He only carried the ball 7 times. Not only is he a great football player, he might be getting looked at by the New York Mets in baseball, just a great athlete.
Well, and I think he's only carried the ball 3 times tonight. Each time he's touched it, he's made over 10 yards and made 1st down carries. So, I mean, he's just a complete-looking player. And I'm just so impressed by his size, the fact that he's 6'2", 210.
Okay, it's 2:29 remaining in the first quarter, 7-0. Coach Cass on the sideline, Coach Keith on the sideline. Well, if you're Coach Cass, you have to be happy. A couple penalties are hurting you, but certainly Scarsdale has not been able to stop Nyack at all.
No, but on the other hand, I know Coach Cass real well. He thinks this game should be 21-0 already. I mean, they've had a few breakdowns. They've had plays. He doesn't like those penalties down the red zone. So I know he's upset. Believe me, that'll come up at halftime.
And on the Scarsdale side, you need a big play. You need that fumble by Beeman. You need that recovered by Scarsdale. It certainly looks like they're not going to be able to stop him down for down. Nyack may be just too powerful, but if they get the turnovers, they get a couple of drives stopped by turnovers, that could be a different story.
All it really takes at this point is one good defensive stand, because they did move the ball beautifully on offense. If they could just make one stop and take a little bit of the wind out of Nyack's sails, I think we'd be in good shape.
All right, well, this is a big play. 3rd and goal from the 9. Nyack trying to get a 14-0 lead. Ronnie King up behind center, and he runs to the wing. That is number 5 trying to go for the end zone. He dives out of bounds. He did not make it, so it'll be 4th down. Good defensive stop, and Scarsdale has to be happy with that. Not a bad play. That was run by Nigel Morris. He's the sophomore.
That was an outstanding play in there by Matt Capone. Played the right corner, linebacker. He came up and shut that play down and strung it out and made that play very difficult for him to go down the touchdown. That's just a basic handoff sweep to the left, but I was really impressed with Capone there.
And that guy running, the sophomore Nigel Morris, Coach Cass says he could be the next superstar at Nyack. This is his first varsity game. He's also their starting strong safety, but he has quite the potential.
Well, I'll tell you right here, I give the ball to Jason L. Sr. on the 1-yard line.
And that's why, they fake to Alcine, they go for the dive. Can he make it outside? And yes, we have a touchdown. Great play by Anthony Evans. They fake to Alcine. Ronnie King runs the option. It was a foot race, and Anthony Evans showing his speed. He just made it inside the pylon. 13-0, pending the extra point.
Well, if you talk to any coach, the most difficult play to stop with your goal line defense is the option, because you have to have set responsibilities. One guy has the fullback, one guy has the QB, and one guy has pitch. But that takes away the power game. If you do that, then they blast you right back up in the middle.
So Nyack, 2 drives, 2 touchdowns, 13-0, 2:15 remaining in the first quarter. Nigel Morris, the sophomore, on to try the extra point to make it 14-0 after Anthony Evans' 2-yard sprint. The hold is good. The kick is good. So it's 14-0. Nigel Morris kind of using the wedge there. Didn't get the lob wedge on it instead of trying to get it out of the sand trap, but it's 14-0.
That looked more like a 5-iron to me. While on this replay, it's just the option to the right. It's excellent execution by Mr. King, our quarterback, my player of the year candidate. He just fakes the ball to the fullback, drives down, breaks the corner down, makes the pitch to the halfback, and he squeaks it in running for the corner flag.
And we've spoken about their starting running backs, Beeman and Alcine, but it shows that the backup, Nigel Morris, Anthony Evans, they're not bad either. Okay, with 2:05 or 2:15 remaining, let's go down to Rob Astorino, preview what we got coming up at halftime.
Guarded secret since the finale of Survivor. Well, maybe not that big, but who's going to win the firing challenge at halftime? This is great. They got a Nerf football, 10 tries to get as many as they can between a hole that's not too big. That all happens at halftime, so don't take a bathroom break. Don't fill up the nachos. Stay right here at halftime. We've got a lot of fun. Back up to you guys.
Thank you very much, Rob. I'm going to test out my arm and call my Cablevision boss to see if I am in fact eligible so I can show off the arm. 14-0. That was an 85-yard drive coming off the Scarsdale turnover. So just when Scarsdale had the momentum, they were driving. Berman was throwing the ball, turnover, and then Nyack basically unstoppable marching down the field. 14-0. 2:15 remaining in the first quarter.
And they also did a great job when you think they had 2 penalties in that to help break up that drive.
So here's the kickoff. Fielded at the 20, going to the sideline, and a nice open field tackle. That's the touchdown man, Anthony Evans, showing that he can hit too, even though he's only 5'7". So number 34, Steve D'Ancelli, who's the best player offensively for Nyack, although, for Scarsdale. And as we can see, the scoring drive, 88 yards. That really basically is just going right down the field. Penalty could have stopped them. It didn't. They had both a hold at the goal line and a clip at about the 30. Nyack's offense just overcoming penalties, certainly overcoming Scarsdale's defense.
And again, what I said at the beginning of the game, you can't key one guy. Sometimes it's Alcine, sometimes it's Beeman, sometimes it's King.
First down pass there from Berman. Incomplete. He was going to his favorite target, Huffnagel. And let me say, usually maybe you hear about somebody being their favorite target, but Berman has thrown the ball about, 9 times? 7 of them have been to Huffnagel. So obviously, it seems that if you're Nyack defense, if you shut down Huffnagel, you're in good shape.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I think he's going to have to throw the ball to Leslie or to one of the guys in the backfield to make it honest.
Okay, Scarsdale coming out at 2nd and 10. Matt Berman, who's looked very, very sharp thus far with his arm and with his feet, under center, 1 back in the backfield, another back in motion, and we have a running play, a trap. Number 15, I believe that's about a 5-yard carry. That's Mike Schwartz, a 6'1", 185-pound junior. That's not a bad play. That might be their best running play aside from the quarterback draw they had the previous drive.
Oh, without a doubt, that's their best play, and we don't even know who Mike Schwartz is, so to speak. We didn't see much of him during the week, but he did a nice job. And again, that was the same play that Nyack ran, the inside handoff on the reverse, and it got them 5 yards. This is a big down right here, Craig. It's going to be 3rd and 5, and a very big down in this first quarter.
3rd down and 5 from the 40. Berman back to pass. He sees his receiver. Great tackle. Huffnagel was there. He needed to make a move in order to get the first down, but I don't think so. Coach Cass said this is his best open field tackler right there, and he made the stop, Sean Harris.
Now this play, if you'll see it closely, it's a beautiful execution by the quarterback, Matt Berman, but it's a little bit of a mistake by Mr. Huffnagel. Again, these are high school kids, but when you want to make 10 yards, you always drive down 13 and make your curl cut. He went down about 7 or 8, so he's right on the line for the margin for the measurement, but I don't think he made it.
Okay, as it's an official timeout with 57 seconds left in the first quarter, let me just say that this copyrighted telecast is produced by the authority of Cablevision Sports and is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience, and the publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of Cablevision Sports is strictly prohibited. So 14-0, Nyack with the lead, 57 seconds remaining in the first quarter. 4th down and 5, looks like Nyack will get the ball back. That was a Scarsdale timeout. With 57 easy for me to say, seconds left in the first quarter on their own 43. They couldn't be thinking of going for it.
Well, I think that's why he called the timeout. It's 4th and a long yard, maybe 2, but, you know, they're down 14-0 at this point. Maybe he is thinking of gambling. I wouldn't recommend it. My philosophy is being a little bit more conservative on that, is to always punt the ball over the 50-yard line and make the offense go the long way. But, hey, I don't usually go onside kick like the Philadelphia Eagles either, and sometimes that works out.
Sometimes in these situations, you'll also see the offense try to get the defense to jump offside. If they don't, then they take a penalty, and then they'll punt it from there. You also don't know how good, this being the first game of the season, how good the Scarsdale special teams, how good the Scarsdale punt unit is.
Yeah, you got to be very careful this. Remember now, we have very few veterans on Scarsdale. If you're going to come up here and fake the punt and not go for the penalty against Nyack, your guys got to stay home and not jump off sides.
Well, Scarsdale is in punt position. Their punter, the junior, Justin Cohen, 6'2", 225. It's funny, he's the punter. He might be the biggest guy on the whole team, but he's back. And I believe that's Anthony Evans back. Nigel Morris back, the sophomore, to take the kick for Nyack. Scarsdale was missing a guy. He runs on the field. So in punt formation, it's a good snap. It's clean. It's a clean kick and a beautiful kick. Nigel Morris getting at the 24-yard line. He dodges the first guy, and he is swallowed up. Tackle made by Mike Schwartz. Mike Schwartz doing it on offense, doing it on defense. So successful punt. It'll be, if they're going to go to pay dirt, they have to start at the 26-yard line.
Excellent punt coverage, by the way. They had 4 white shirts on him. Only made 1 yard on that play. Little things like that are what Coach Keith is looking for. You know, you can't, if you're not going to win this game, you want to see little things that you can use for the next 7 games. Now, I'm not to say they're not going to win, but that was a pretty good situation. Now they're making them go the long way. But once again, it comes right back to what we said. If they don't put some pressure defensively, it's going to be an awfully long night.
Okay, 49 seconds remaining in this first quarter. 14-0. Nyack with the lead and the ball. Ronnie King under center. First down and 10, and he gives it up the gut to Alcine. Off left tackle, and it looks like Alcine, maybe his shortest run of the day, 4 yards. It'll be 2nd and 6. And that time, no daylight, but he still got 4 yards. 4 yards is good for a lot of teams here. It's considered almost a bad run for Nyack.
No, but look at it this way. If you get 3 4s, I think that's a first down, isn't it? Seems to me that comes out to 12.
I did not do well at math in any time in my life, so if you ask me any math questions, I'm absolving.
Every coach's goal is to make 4 or more yards on first down. If you do that, you got a great offense.
Okay, in that case, they have a good offense because they made 4. King back to pass, and he up the gut to Beeman. Beeman runs into his own man. He ran into number 55, Marty McGinnis. McGinnis, the heart and soul of this offensive line. He's the only guy that stopped Beeman from getting the first down right there.
Most definitely. That was one of the best pops of the ball game, unfortunately.
Okay, 14-0, Nyack with the lead. It's the end of the first quarter. We'll be back with the second quarter. Don't go away. You're watching Cablevision Sports.
When you think of office furniture, one name should come into mind. Office Furniture USA, located in Nyack. Office Furniture USA is stocked with name brand office suites, computer stations, conference, meeting, and training room furniture at prices that are extremely competitive. Office Furniture USA, the most exciting office furniture store around. Our salespeople are knowledgeable, helpful, and genuine. And delivery is quick and easy. Go USA. Office Furniture USA.
We live and work in a time where everything moves fast. Often too fast. At higher speeds, little mistakes happen all the time, but those little mistakes generally aren't life-threatening. That's not true for highway workers. Excessive speed in highway work zones causes injuries and fatalities. Imagine working under those conditions. Slow down in work zones.
Yes, it is Friday Night Lights, Nyack style, 14-0. Nyack with the lead over Scarsdale here at McCalman Field in the town of Nyack. This stadium built in 1937, but hey, I mean, not bad at all. This is beautiful. Stands are pretty much packed for the opening ball game of the season, and the Nyack fans thus far have to be happy. 14-0 after the first quarter, Coach.
Well, there's been no surprises. We knew Nyack was an offensive powerhouse. I think the surprise that I had in the first quarter was that Scarsdale was able to take the ball and drive 60 yards. They don't turn it over, we might have a ball game here. It could be 14-7 at this point.
Okay, Ronnie King and the rest of the Nyack offense on the field waiting to go. This is the third down play. With a good stop, this could bring some confidence to the Scarsdale D. This would be the first time they'd stopped them all game. Running play to the right. First down. No, it will looks like to be very close, and there's still a rugby scrum going on. But we will see. Is it a third down? They may bring in the chains.
That was one of the best defensive plays they've had in the game. It was just a simple sweep to the right side. And the Scarsdale defense in unison, they all came up and made a gang tackle.
And they were not able to stop the first down, though. Good carry that time by Sean Harris. Only 5'8", 180, but he's unafraid to run, and he's running behind Marty McGinnis, the heart of the line.
I was going to say, let's give a little credit to Marty McGinnis and Ted Renee and Shenley Vital, because these are the guys up front on the right side when they run that sweep are doing a real good job. They also pull the offside guard, Robert Yusko, to go around that sweep.
Yeah, obviously anytime an offense is running successfully, the backs get the credit, and the work is done by the men in the middle, up the line. And we have another running play. Number 32, Jason Alcine, he's going off the right side, and he's close to a first down. Another short, second and short for Nyack.
Now, Jason Alcine, if you watch this here, you'll see he's not a fullback. He hits the hole. Now, look at that cut right here. Boom, he plants his leg, goes outside. He could play halfback just as well as fullback. But again, that's outstanding blocking by Renee and McGinnis up in front of him. And, you know, he's following a fairly big young man in Mr. Beeman, who's, you know, 6'2", 220 pounds. I'd like him as a lead blocker in my offense anytime.
Second and 2 for Nyack at the 45. King with the handoff. This time it goes left side to Beeman. Beeman, there he shows it, puts down his shoulder, and he gets the first down.
Yeah, I mean, in a normal situation, a 1 or 2 yard gain is a nice play. But when it comes down to 2 and you need 1 yard, that's not enough. Again, here's Beeman just coming around the left side. Look at the size of him. And he's dragging number 44 with him, and he's a good-sized football player. So, you know, that's just what we expect from him. But he's a good football player, number 44. Rob Matskin starts both ways for Scarsdale. Back to a first down on Nyack.
Yeah, Rob Matskin, 5'9", 180 pounds, and holding on for dear life, praying to his mother. All right, first down at midfield for Nyack. Ronnie King behind center. He goes back. This will be his third passing attempt of the game, and King looks long and wide open there, the split back, and he makes a move down to the 20. Great pass and a great reception. That was number 5, Nigel Morris. Nigel Morris, a sophomore. Not a bad play.
Don't tell me about Nigel Morris. Tell me about this ball. This is a frozen rope. This is an awesome pass. He sprints right, sets his feet. That ball is thrown on a frozen rope. I'm impressed. I tell you, he only throws the ball 6 times a game. If he was, well, I shouldn't say that if I was coaching him, because I'd run the ball too with those backs, but he could throw the ball 15, 20 times a game with that gun.
First and 10 at the 16. Nyack up 14-0 and looking for more. Inside hand up and a good defensive play. I believe that was number 7, Jeff Leslie. He stuck him. He's the inside linebacker. And for once, Jason Alcine stopped in his tracks.
Yeah, and he got nice support after he made the first initial hit. He got a lot of people helping him up front. I thought that was the best defensive play of the ball game so far for Scarsdale. Well, I'd like to see them put a little pressure here and make Nyack really work for this one and give a little boost to the Scarsdale defense.
And Jeff Leslie is the inside linebacker. He's the guy that calls the defensive signals on the field. And that time probably the best hit thus far in this game for the Scarsdale Raiders defense.
He's a good-sized lad, 6'1", 200 pounds. I was impressed with his hit.
Okay, we have a second, I believe, in about 6, 7, or 8. The Rafael De La Cruz coming in with the play, gives it to Ronnie King. I guess thus far, pretty much everything Coach Cass on the sideline has called his work, so we'll see what he comes with this time. Yep. Time was running out. We'll go to a timeout. And Coach Cass does not look that thrilled that he had to waste the timeout on a 2nd and 7. He's walking out into the middle field, talk to King. But ultimately, I mean, he has to be happy this far.
Oh, of course. He's ripping off 10s and 12s, and then he throws a 45-yard bullet. I mean, the ball just, here's a look at the Scarsdale sideline down there. And, you know, these kids are saying, well, look, it's 14-0. We're still in the ball game, but they're looking down towards the end zone. And they know that they might be up against it tonight, but I'm impressed. They're hanging in there, and there's Coach Kaz right in the middle. Trust me, I know the man. He's giving him a piece of his mind. Look at him. He does not like to lose, nor does he like mistakes. One of the things I tried to point out to you off the camera was the team that makes the fewest number of mistakes in an opening game almost always wins.
And as Coach Cash is lecturing his players on the during the timeout, we talked to him earlier this week, and here's what he had to say about his senior backs.
They understand what it's all about. These guys have, 25, 26, 27 games varsity experience, so, they know what to expect on Friday night. They know what's expected of them.
Coach Cass, such a good job with his team, his 13th year. If they go all the way, if they go 12-0 this season, he'll be 100 wins for Coach Cass. Anyway, Ronnie King taking center after the timeout. Thus far, he's 2 of 3, 67 yards passing, 1 touchdown. Stats an NFL quarterback wouldn't mind. And here he is under center, 2nd and 8. Going right, and a great defensive play. Is that Leslie yet again making the play? Yes, Leslie, 2 plays in a row, 2 stuffs in a row. Just a great play by Rob Leslie. Jeff Leslie.
Now here it is, just a simple handoff, giving the ball to number 25, running around the right end, and a great fill. Oh boy, did he come up nice. Once again, he's a 200-pounder, and once he gets his hands on him, he's getting good support from the other people. All coaches want gang tackle, and all coaches want pursuit, and that's what he got out of that.
And that time, Alcine, who Coach Cass says is as good a blocker as he is a runner, he missed the block. Okay, big play yet again. Can Scarsdale finally hold? 3rd down. Coach Keith says something he doesn't like. 3rd and 9. Looks like it might be a pass. Ronnie going back to pass, and he fires to Beeman. Touchdown, Nyack.
Wow, that's, again, I can't tell you that's a touch pass because the ball's getting there so fast that it's unbelievable, but the receiver was open momentarily. As soon as the ball got there, there was a great stick on the play, but the ball's a bullet. It's just thrown so accurately and so hard.
So now that's 3
for 4, I believe.
Yeah, 3 for 4 with 2 touchdown passes. King, see, I heard that he was told that he's your preseason pick for Player of the Year, and he said, uh-oh, if Coach Abling's making me his Player of the Year, I better have a good game. So his 2nd touchdown pass, 20-0 with 8 minutes and 23 seconds remaining in the 2nd quarter. The hometown fans at Nyack High School, well, in the town of Nyack, have to be happy. Nigel Morris trying to make it 3 for 3. Nice hold, but the kick is blocked. A diving play right there to block the kick. But 20-0, 3 touchdowns, 2nd touchdown pass by Ronnie King.
There's the sprint out, and everything he throws comes off sprint out. Now he sets his feet, throws it right over the top, and if you'll see, there's 2 receivers out there, but he hits Beeman in the end zone. Just a perfect catch. Again, what's that kid's name that caught the ball? I mean, he isn't a very good player either. All he does is everything on the field. Block, tackle, make the play. What an outstanding football player. But like you said, I want to speak to all the Section 1 coaches. Ronnie King does this every game. This is not one highlight day. This is every day.
And as we see the teams on the sideline, even though this team just scored a touchdown, Coach Cass still giving them the business. He knows he's not just fighting this game. His team is the #1 rated team in Section 1. Every game, they have the big target on their back, and they were 9-0 last year regular season and the playoffs, and then they missed. Then they got upset in the playoffs. He doesn't want that to happen. He might already be thinking about the playoffs, even though it's only the first game.
Well, he made... Oh, here we go. Here's the Nyack scoring dive. Beeman, 33-yard TD pass, a 1-yard run, and a 15-yard pass. 2 passes for, 48 yards, and the other one he passed for a touchdown before. Very, if you can score on 3 plays, it's going to be an awfully long night. The point you made, though, is very important, Craig. In today's paper that had the predictions for the season and the outlook, one of the things that Coach Cass said was, next week they play Horace Greeley, a real quality football team. And he said tonight was the night to make a statement to get ready for Greeley next week.
And a statement they are making. Nyack 20, Scarsdale 0 thus far, 8:23 remaining in the 2nd quarter. Ronnie King already 3 of 4 with 2 touchdown passes. He will kick off. And Scarsdale, they're not doing badly. They're making a couple stops. Just every 3rd down, every time they could stop them for sure, Nyack's making the play. And that might be senior leadership too. 3rd down and 8 at the 15. They're not upset. They're not nervous.
Yeah. Well, as I said, I don't think Coach Keith is happy, but he's seen some good things happen here.
And an end-over-end kick fielded at the 18-yard line. And Steve D'Ancelli making a cardinal sin, putting his knee down as he received the ball. If he's in the pros, that's good. In high school, it's not gonna cut it.
That's the floodgates. When things start to go bad for you, unfortunately, you make a mental error. And there's his knee just touching. I thought maybe they'd let it go, but the referee right behind him did see it, and it was a good call. But again, it starts Scarsdale off in a hole. They're down inside their own 20, and naturally, that makes it an awfully long way to get a score.
Well, Matt Berman jogging in. He has looked good. He looked good 2 drives ago. The last drive was short and sweet. Not so sweet for Scarsdale. Again, a long field to go, as you said. I believe 17-yard line, 1st and 10. 20-0 Nyack with 8 minutes and 18 seconds remaining in this second quarter. First down, Berman under center. He's the fake. He's running the option, and Berman has a hole. He has quite a big hole, and then he cuts it up. Nice hit by Nigel Morris. Very close to a first down. Looks like he may have that first down.
You know, in talking to Coach, he didn't really mention his feet. He talked only about his passing game as a JV quarterback, but he's made 2 nice runs in this game. I've been impressed with him. This is the option play, and he just cuts off tackle, tucks the ball away, and just pushes by a defender, and comes in and makes a nice 8-yard gain. Oh, excuse me, makes a first down.
And that defender he pushed by, Jason Alcine. And Alcine, if he hits you, just as if he hits you when he's running, he'll knock you. If he hits you on defense, he'll knock you, but that time Berman too quick for him. Now he's back to pass, throwing to his favorite target, but that pass is incomplete. Alec Huffnagel had his hands on the ball. He probably should have caught that one.
Well, I think he should have caught it, but if you saw the play again, I think what you'd see is there's a young man, number 34, that was right in his face about to deliver him on the pass. And, you know, that makes it tough, too. You got a great big guy like Beeman, but Matt's doing a good job. There's a good look at him for his mom and dad, and he's a real good-looking player. I think he's going to be a real good one. You know, what happens in a game like this, Craig, is now Nyack has scored 44 straight points, and Scarsdale hasn't scored. 24 last year and 20 tonight. And, you know, the head games begin to happen, and unfortunately they're kids, and that's what, you know, that's part of the ball game.
2nd and 10, Berman under center. Man in motion, and now we have a pitch to the side. Great play that time. Jason Alcine showing why he might be as good a linebacker as he is a running back. He stopped number 22. That's the captain, McApony, for no gain.
Well, he's just a complete football player. This is a toss pitch with the quarterback and a guard in front. Jason Alcine comes up and makes the stick, and he's what we used to call a two-way football player. When I played ball back in the turn of the century, everybody played 2 ways. We only had 11 guys that started, but I'll tell you, this is very important. I think that's why Jason Alcine and Darren Beeman were 2 really outstanding Section 1 players.
So it looks like Nyack's defense is stiffening just a bit. 3rd and 10, big play for Scarsdale. Berman back, he fakes, and now we have a middle screen. It looks like it's pretty well set up, but stuffed by the Nyack defense. Number 15, Mike Schwartz, looked like he had daylight. That looked like a first down, but you see the quickness of the Nyack defense.
Yeah, what I started to say, it's very much well-educated. It was really executed well. The only problem was the ball hung up a little bit in the air, and the defense had a chance to adjust and come on and make the stick. And just too bad, because they really did a nice job with that play.
And Berman was looking, was that a breakdance move he had with the 4 pumps? I don't know who would, who fell for that, but really that shows the quickness, because it looked, he had 5 blockers in front of him, but great job by the Nyack defense. 4th down, and it looks as if, yes, the punter is back in, the biggest punter in Section 1, Justin Cohen, 6'2", 225. 4th and 2 at their own 34-yard line. Scarsdale not going for it.
Got off a real nice kick the first time. Let's see if he can do it again.
Okay, clean snap, and another great kick. Fair catch called for by Beeman, and he gets out of the way, and this will prove to be a fantastic kick. It rolls dead at the 23-yard line. It will be 1st and 10. Nyack, they are up 20-0, and now let's go down to our main man in the sideline, in the seats, Rob Astorino. Rob, what do you got for us?
Here at the concession stand run by the Red and Black Club, and Kathy Hopkins is the president of the club. When I announced I was from the Board of Health, you should have seen him run all over the place. Stinky Water Dogs, is that our main treat tonight?
Yep.
What do they go for?
$1.50.
$1.50. What else is the special of the day?
Popcorn.
No popcorn. That's it?
Yep. Candy. We have.
No fish? No pasta?
No.
Nothing? All right. You're running a good business here, huh?
Yep.
It's almost halftime. You're going to get a lot of people here.
It's going to get real busy.
All right. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right.
I think Rob's just looking for a free meal. Anyway, 1st and 10. Ronnie King back to pass. He's under pressure. He throws it down 40 yards. Oh, Darren Beeman had it open all alone at the 43. That might be Darren Beeman's first bad play of the day.
I think so. Again, it was a perfect strike again by Ronnie King. There was a lot of pressure now. You'll watch this. We just missed it, but there was a lot of pressure on Ronnie King on that time. But he did the smart thing a QB should do. Stepped up into the pocket, then he threw his frozen rope again, and Darren Beeman actually had to readjust a little bit and come back to miss that. I think that's why he dropped it.
Yeah, Beeman also might have been thinking, hey, third touchdown of the game is a certain possibility. There's no one within 5 yards from me, and he...
Well, still, you know, it proves that Superman is human.
Right.
He does make a mistake once in a while.
So now 2nd and 10, and they run the option. King keeps it. Great job that time by the Nyack defense. Number 34, Captain Steve D'Ancelli. Nice play. Stopped him. Short gain.
Perfect execution of defensive coverage. Everybody has a set assignment. One guy takes the fullback, one guy takes QB, one guy takes pitch. What happened then was King kept the ball, tried to break the corner down, and that time the play was made by outside linebacker Steve D'Ancelli. Great job.
Okay, so it'll be a 3rd down and long.
3rd down and long for who? Nyack? I think that's the first time you said that all night.
I know. Well, they had a 3rd down and long over there at the 15-yard line, and they scored, so we'll see what happens. But 3rd down and long. Beeman and Alcine in the backfield, still 20-0. Nyack with the lead, and it's off right tackle. It is Alcine, and he has a gaping hole, and he is still going. He's at midfield. 40, 35, 30, cuts inside, 25, 20, and he's finally dragged down at the 17-yard line by Alec Huffnagel. Jason Alcine ripping off a run.
Now, what does that say about your football team? You got a 3rd and 9. Everybody else in the world passes the ball. This is just an off-tackle slant, gives the ball to Jason Alcine. Now watch his smarts. This is what I talk about him being an athlete. He shakes off this tackle, gets another 5 yards, takes another tackler, no, a lot more than 5. He ended up with 12 more yards, and then a great tackle coming down and forcing him out of bounds, saving up touchdown.
So another big play by the Nyack Indians. 1st down at the 17, and Ronnie King going back to pass yet again. He looks Beeman, nice fingertip grab. He's at the 5. He is in the end zone. Touchdown, Nyack. That is 3 touchdown receptions for Beeman, 3 touchdown passes for King.
Very interesting because last year I saw Nyack twice. I don't think they threw the ball to Beeman 3 times all year. And now he's their primary receiver, their best ball carrier, or certainly one of the 2 best ball carriers. But don't forget that young man named Ronnie King, the guy that I'm pushing for Player of the Year. Number 2, just an outstanding job of everything. Executing the play, the run, and leading his team for 4 touchdowns.
And that's Beeman's 3rd touchdown of the game. They have opened up a 26-0 lead, 4 minutes, 29 seconds remaining in the 2nd quarter. Nigel Morris on for his 4th extra point try of the day. He's 2 for 3 thus far. I'm sure he'll hear about it from Coach Cass if he doesn't convert on this one. 26-0. And it's a bad snap, but Morris has the ball. He makes a juke, throws a ugly-looking pass, and it's incomplete.
Well, once in a while something goes wrong. That's 2 bad extra points, but there's 26 points up there that things did right. So Nyack has made a statement already. It's the 1st half. They're duly doing a super job. I don't know what to say about Ronnie King. Everything that he does is just, executed perfectly.
Well, he is a 4-year starter. We spoke to him this week, and he was very confident talking about all of Nyack's offensive weapons. Take a look.
Looking to put a lot of pressure on Scarsdale. I mean, they can't really key on nobody because we got too many weapons. But if they key on somebody, that means somebody else is going to get on. So Scarsdale's in for a rough night. That's what I think.
And a rough night it is. 26-0 with 4 minutes and 29 seconds remaining in this 2nd quarter.
This is the time of the game, just when you're getting ready to go into halftime, that Keith is trying to collect his thoughts, come up with positive things to say, and believe me, that's a very hard thing to do. When you're down 26-0, you've only had 1 offensive drive of any significance. Your defense hasn't stopped them at all. Boy, you're really up against it, and you still got to come out and play 24 minutes in the 2nd half.
And the field position battle certainly being won yet again by Nyack like everything else. Let's see if Scarsdale can get a good kick return, get some better field position. Last time, Captain Steve D'Ancelli put his knee down, and their starting position was the 18-yard line. King with the kick to the 20. It's taken, and it's running straight upfield. That's run by Matt Berman, the quarterback, unafraid to mix it up in the middle, and a 10-yard return. They'll have it at the 30. First down and 10, 26-0. Nyack with the lead, 4 minutes and 19 seconds remaining. And as you can see in the scoring drive, Beeman, third touchdown of the game, 18-yard pass play from your man, Ronnie King.
Look at those 3 Beemans. Boy, that's a lot for him. Like we said, he only carries the ball 7 times, but he's been involved in the passing game so much tonight that I'm just so impressed. Really, really a complete football player. Now, whether or not he's a big-time football player, I don't know, because there's so many outstanding backs across America. But I'll tell you this, if he's not going big-time, he's certainly going to play a lot of college football somewhere.
Right, and by big time, you're talking top 20, top 25 Division I, the Notre Dames, the Michigans.
Yeah, there's about 25 schools that go after blue-chip athletes, and there's a lot of those around the country, but it's a very, very hard thing to do. You know, Craig, most people don't realize it, but only 3% of kids that play high school football play college football, and then only less than 1% of all players that play college football play big-time college. So,
okay, that's a penalty, and we will hear from the referee just exactly what it was. Obviously, a legal procedure, it appears to be, against Scarsdale Red Raiders. And since we are so good at reading his arms, he didn't even say it. When you make a little windmill motion, we'll call that a legal procedure. First and 15, Matt Berman under center. 26-0 Nyack with the lead. Berman keeping it himself on the option, tackled by Alcine, and I believe Alcine had some help in there from number 66, Jimmy Palazzo.
now see, this is a nice play. It's a nice 4-yard gain, but the problem is you got first and 15 instead of first and 10, but it is a nice carry, and it's a pretty good gang tackle, too.
So 2nd and 11 for Scarsdale. They need something to go offensively. 26-0 there, down 3 minutes, 35 seconds, and counting left before halftime.
Well, we're going to see the ball in the air a lot in the second half from Scarsdale. We know that, and we're probably going to see it a lot in the air this last 3.5 minutes.
Berman with one back behind him. His main man, Huffnagel, split out left, and it's a run right in. Steve D'Ancelli, he gets 3 yards and then gets knocked down. So it'll be 3rd and 8, another long play, 3rd and long for Scarsdale.
That's just a counter trap, and the player steps one direction, comes back, and the offside tackle comes across and traps. Actually, he made a couple yards on the play, but it draws up a 3rd and long 8 and puts them under the gun again.
26-0. Now under 3 minutes to go in the second quarter before halftime, where you will see Rob Astorino and the huge firing line challenge. First ever time on Cablevision. 3rd and 8. Berman back to pass. He pump fakes. He is under pressure. He will run the ball, and he will get sacked. That's sacked by number 40, Othaniel Baptiste, and with the help from...
There's Berman. He's just going to the left, and then the protection breaks down. He tries to turn the corner. He's under tremendous pressure by Mike Thivino, and then everybody comes up and makes a hit. But the primary player on that was Mike Thivino, and number 40.
Yeah, and number 3, Othaniel Baptiste. And a good thing about Mike Thivino, he is a transfer from Spring Valley, 5'9", 215. He's so good, they needed to find a position for him. He wasn't a defensive end until this year.
That's right. He wasn't even in the Nyack program until this year, and they thought it so impressed on him with early season camp, they found a starting job for him.
And Scarsdale's best player thus far today, Justin Cohen, their punter, his last punt over 40 yards. He's back to punt on this 4th down play. The snap is good, plenty of time. The kick is up. It's a little lower than the last 2. Great pickup right there, and he is off and running is number 25, Sean Harris. Harris with about a 15-yard return, and with 1 minute and 22 seconds remaining before half, up 26-0. They're at the 40-yard line, 45-yard line. Nyack can put it in yet again.
I was really hoping that Scarsdale could get a first down there and use up the clock so that they didn't get another score in this situation or get another chance to attack the goal line to get a score. You do need some little things to make your team feel better.
Okay, yet again, I will remind you that the firing line challenge, the first ever firing line challenge coming up at halftime. Stay tuned. As Rob said, do not get nachos, do not go to the bathroom, do not do anything. First down and 10. Thivino in the backfield. He's their backup fullback, and he rumbles for 9 yards. As we just said, 5'9", 215. This man is a house.
Well, I think I coached, in all the time that I coached in Rockland County, I never had a second backfield that was as good as my first. That was a great, just a belly play, following the guards, and just doing a great job. Good blocking up front by Yusko and Mulcahy.
Yeah, both Alcine and Beeman out of the game. Thivino gets it yet again, and he is motoring. 35, he is down to the 31. That's a 14-yard gain just right there. 2 carries, 25, 30 yards for Mike Thivino.
Once again, it's the belly play, reverse pivot, give it to the fullback, follow the guard and tackle, and look at him motor. He's just going straight downfield. Needs to learn to run a little bent forward, but so what? He made 15 yards.
He wasn't touched till 10 yards. 39 seconds remaining. First down, and we have a whistle. It's an official's timeout. We'll see what they have to discuss.
You know, I honestly think, Craig, that Coach Cass at this point isn't trying to run up the score. He's not throwing the ball. It's just that he brings in a second-team fullback, and he rips off 25 yards.
Certainly. 36 to go. 36 seconds ago, as you can see on that clock here at McCollum Field, the home of the Nyack Indians, and the home crowd is being treated to a 26-0 shutout thus far now. Ronnie King back to pass. He has time. He passes the interception. Yes, it is intercepted by the linebacker. Linebacker slash everything. I believe the interception was by Huffnagel. Hey, he's their number 1 receiver. He can catch it on defense, too. That time, Ronnie King going for the first down. Went for too much. Finally, a good play for Scarsdale.
And one of the few mistakes from Ronnie King. The ball is thrown on the money, and the kid steps right in front of the receiver, and a real nice play. And we know Huffnagel has great hands. He's got 5 or 6 receptions in a ball game, even though they've gone to him. He's the primary receiver. Proves he's got hands on defense as well.
And that pass was intended yet again for Darren Beeman, who has 3 touchdowns thus far in the game. Well, 21 seconds remaining in this first half, 26-point deficit for Scarsdale. Will they hold it or will they go for it? We will see. Matt Berman down under center. We have a man in motion. They're going with the option. Berman, and they right up to the fullback. I was shocked where the ball went. Matt Capone with the captain. That's a faked out the cameraman, faked out everyone.
Faked out the announcer to my right, but it was an excellent option play, but it just gave it to the first read, gave it to the fullback, and did a nice job.
That is a Scarsdale timeout with 13.6 seconds remaining. Coach, you have 13 seconds remaining. You're at your own 33. What are you doing? How are you trying to score here?
Well, you could throw the ball, but with that kind of time, I'm not sure that's necessary. I think he's going to try to just run a play, regroup, go in at halftime. And I'm really glad to see that your eyes are about the same as mine. You didn't quite see that handoff to the fullback. I got a criticism back in the first quarter, but you see, it isn't always just age. Sometimes the youth make mistakes too.
Okay. As we were saying, 26-0 Nyack with the lead. 13.8 seconds remaining until halftime, in which you will see the firing line challenge. I can't tease it enough, and this might be the biggest thing Cablevision Sports has ever attempted, which is coming up at halftime. And Nyack, they are the number 1 seed. They are the number 1 team preseason, and thus far, after 24 minutes of football, they're certainly living up to it. 26-0.
Well, if we're going to really see that. They're giving a little shot of us up here in the booth, but we're going to really see when we come back at the second half with second half stats. It's been so one-sided. It's just been very impressive. They've just done a bang-up job. I'm not surprised, but I was hoping that Scarsdale might be a little bit tougher on defense and might be able to be a little bit more in the game.
Well, certainly the senior backfield of Beeman, Alcine, and King, as advertised thus far in this game. 13 seconds remaining. Matt Berman behind center. Man in motion. Will they run? Will they pass? Play action, going deep. He lobs it up the sideline. Wide receiver not even looking for it. That was number 7, Jeff Leslie. Didn't even know the ball was coming. He's the tight end, and he was open.
Well, you know what happened on the play is he thought the ball was going to go to Alec Huffnagel because Huffnagel was going deeper than him, and Huffnagel was open. So he looked for the ball to go deep, and he ended up throwing it over tight end's shoulder.
So 8 seconds now remaining in the first half. Berman heads back to the huddle. Will they try another pass? Will they just run out the clock?
Well, on that one,
so.
I said they weren't, so I said yes, they do. I do think they're going to throw the ball this time again.
Okay, 2nd and 10. 8 seconds remaining. Berman under center, one back behind them. That's Captain Matt Capone. Capone gets it right up the gut. That will probably be the last play of the first half. And it is. First half is over. Number 1 team in the section, preseason Nyack 26. And Scarsdale nothing. Firing line challenge, first time ever, right after these messages. Don't go away, you're watching Cablevision Sports.
Growing up backstage here at the Apollo Theater, I had some incredible teachers. I mean, they could show me a move and make it stick. Today, when teachers look for creative ways to reach a kid, they turn to cable in the classroom. With donated cable technology, teachers connect kids to a world of commercial-free educational programs. With free study guides and internet support, cable helps teachers make it stick. Nice moves, cable in the classroom.
Cable in the Classroom is a public service of Cablevision.
Negative campaign tactics, personal attacks, distortion. Every time politicians use negative tactics, they smear the very meaning of America. Now is the time to tell politicians, keep it clean. The future is in your hands. Support positive political campaigns. Tell your candidates to keep it clean.
Craig Thomas and the coach Dale Ablin. Craig Thomas back with you, 26-0. Nyack with the lead over Scarsdale at halftime. Nyack was the number 1 team, preseason rated number 1, and coach, they've done nothing to dispel that notion. 26-0, dominating first half.
And you know what they've done? It's been great balance. They've just done what they do the best. They run well. They, you know, everything's been good. I guess, what can you say negatively about Nyack?
Okay, as we enjoy the halftime festivities, we will be back with some halftime stats. But first, you've been waiting for it. We've been talking about it. Rob Astorino and the firing line challenge.
Halftime here at Nyack, and the thing you've all been waiting for, I know it, it's the firing challenge. A $25 gift certificate brought to you by Nobody Beats the Wiz is online here. And here's what's going to happen. I got 3 guys here from Nyack, and they're all set to go. But first, let's explain what happens here. They get a Nerf football, 10 tries in 30 seconds, the most to get it through this circle here, which is 10 feet away. And believe me, it's not that easy, but the ball does fit. It's not like a carnival. The most they can get through, the winner gets the certificate. That's how it works. Are you guys ready? Let's go. All right. First of all, we got Lonnie Smith, who's all set to go, and then followed by Bill Leone and Chris Clegg, all from the Nyack area. So, Lonnie, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. I feel like Regis Philbin now.
Okay.
Here we go. Your 30 seconds begin now. A little high there. Almost. I thought it would have fit if it was spiraled. There's one. Oh, all right. 1 out of 4 so far. 1 out of 5.
15 seconds.
1 out of 6. About 12 seconds to go. 2 out of 7. Way to go. He spits and gets it ready. Almost in there. 2 out of 8.
4.
2 out of 9. Last shot, and he gets it off, and he stops with 2. All right, Bill. He's all set. He thinks he had this one earlier. Here we go, Bill. Same rules, of course. 30 seconds to get most. You got to beat 2. Are you ready?
Give me the high side.
All right, Bill, go ahead. A little high. A little high and to the left. There's 1. There's 2. Oh, 2 out of 5 so far. Halfway through, there's 3. You take the lead, Bill. Almost snuck it in there. 10 to go.
5.
Let's see if you can get 1 more in there. There you go.
1.
And that's it. So you got 4. Good job. Bill Leone leads with 4, and he tries to get the fans all psyched out. All right, Chris Clegg, you all set?
All set.
A lot of pressure. You ready?
No pressure.
All right, good. Here we go. 30 seconds to go. Are we set? We're ready. Go ahead. You got to beat 4. 8 to go. There's 1. There's 2. Nice fire. Little low. 2 out of 5 so far. Needs 4. Almost.
Hey, Bill, come here a minute.
15 seconds to go. Little flubber there.
10 seconds.
Down to 10 seconds. Uh-oh, he needs 2 to go here.
5.
And that's the last one, and that, by my math, means you're done. All right, so Bill Leone is our big winner. Come here, Bill. Now, look, my favorite team is Miami Dolphins. We don't have a quarterback this year. Can you go down to South Florida?
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
All right, good. Well, congratulations. You get your big $25 gift certificate to Nobody Beats the Wiz. And which pocket is it in? Here we go. Congratulations. All right. More halftime activities coming up with the stats and everything else after this.
Nyack School District. All rooms are oversized. This immaculate home features a large country kitchen, family room with fireplace, formal dining room, double-door entry, wood floors, perfect for a large family. Call Joyce Realty today for all the details. 735-7100. You better come running for this one. This 4-bedroom, 2 full bath ranch is priced to sell, featuring a new custom kitchen with natural maple cabinets, Italian ceramic floors, central air, formal living room and dining room, and finished lower level. The backyard retreat has a huge deck overlooking beautiful property. This 70-foot ranch is waiting for you. Call Joyce Realty today to arrange a private showing. Call 634-9200. Call today to visit Mrs. Clean's home. This is it. This mint 1-bedroom condo is all neutral and bright with skylights, central air, large storage room that can be finished, possible loft, 1 car.
Welcome back to McCalman Field in the middle of the beautiful town of Nyack, where it is 26-0 at halftime. The Nyack Indians not disappointing their fans, doing a great job thus far. They were the #1 team in preseason, and look at the stats. Nothing but domination. As you can see, Coach, I told you I'm terrible in math, but it doesn't take much to actually 257 yards rushing. That's for Nyack. So you can see just a dominating performance by the Nyack Indians.
Well, that's 5-1 in rushing yards. They've got it backwards. They've got Nyack with, hey, it's 54 to 257, and that's all that really matters.
Yeah, and you see 100 yards passing. Ronnie King, 3 touchdown passes, 8 first. The funny thing is, only 8 first downs. That's because they're passing the ball and running the ball so long. Their scoring drives aren't taking that much time because they're just too good.
Well, in my opinion, those are first downs. If you got a 50-yard pass, it should count as a first down or a 50-yard run. Either way, it's been total domination, and you got to give Scarsdale credit in some ways because they did have one drive they slowed down. I think this is going to be a Picture of Beeman here going in for a score. Off tackle, he cuts back against the grain. Look at the size of him. And he plants. Now he just pulls right through and runs right through 3 white shirts. Now he's really running against the grain. Dips his shoulder. Well, that's just great running. Ironically, that was the play he fumbled on, but I think, as I remember, we recovered it anyway.
Yeah, Beeman had 3 touchdowns, 49 yards rushing, 66 yards pass, 66 yards receiving. And Jason Alcine, his partner, part of the terrific tandem of tailbacks they had coming back, he had 9 rushes for 159 yards, showing he can do it up the middle as well as showing some speed. He had about a 45, 50-yarder. Unfortunately, he didn't put it in the end zone.
Yeah, I want to give him the ball down in the red zone now. If you're getting 159 yards, let's see him pop one in down in inside that 20. That's not his fault. He's just a great back. It's just that the big plays have been the scores that Nyack has scored on, with Beeman and King executing so well.
And as Nyack comes back on the field for the second half, we can look at the scoring drives of Nyack just dominating. Right off the opening kickoff, just over 2 minutes into the game already, 33-yard beautiful pass from King. Then Evans with a nice 1-yard burst around, and then 2 more passes to Beeman. And Coach, you were impressed with Ronnie King. He threw for 600 yards passing through last season. You think he'll have much more this season?
Well, you know what's really ironic about all this, Craig, is I ran the wing T for 6 years. I always thought it was a great passing offense. Most people only think of it as a running offense. But what happens is, if your running game is so successful, all play-action passes work. Now, when you come to a place like Nyack and you have 5 or 6 skilled players that can catch the ball, you can throw to your fullback, you can throw to both halfbacks, you can throw to your tight end, and you can throw to your wideout. That's 5 really capable, skilled kids, and right now that's what Nyack's doing. I got to say this, though. When I see John Cass, I'm going to say, is this the new John Cass? Since when are we throwing for 3 touchdown passes and a half? That's unheard of in Nyack football.
Well, when you got a quarterback like Ronnie King, a 4-year starter, preseason, one of the top 11 players in Section 1, you do it. So, well, we are moments away from the second half. Both teams are out on the field, and we will be back with the second half kickoff. Right now, it's 26 points for the Nyack Indians. It is 0 points, unfortunately, for the Scarsdale Raiders. We're about to kick off the second half. Don't go away. You're watching Cablevision Sports.
Negative campaign, personal attack, distortion. Every time politicians use negative tactics, they smear the very meaning of America. Now is the time to tell politicians, keep it clean. The future is in your hands. Support positive political campaigns. Tell your candidates to keep it clean.
When you think of office furniture, one name should come into mind: Office Furniture USA, located in Nyack. Office Furniture USA is stocked with name brand office suites, computer stations, conference, meeting, and training room furniture at prices that are extremely competitive. Office Furniture USA, the most exciting office furniture store around. Our salespeople are knowledgeable, helpful, and genuine, and delivery is quick and easy. Go USA. Office Furniture USA.
Common Field, moments away from the second half kickoff. The Nyack Indians running onto the field. They are up 26-0. Scarsdale hasn't scored a point in 2 games against them, Coach. Coach, you're talking about some unsung heroes thus far in the first half?
You bet. Let me tell you their names: Tommy Mulcahy, Robert Yusko, Nick Braga, Marty McGinnis, Ted Renee, and Will Leone. These guys have done all the work. Naturally, Beeman and King and Alcine are going to get the credit, but you don't do it without those 6 horses up front. I've been very impressed. That's the offensive lineman, and those are the guys that have been doing the number.
And now, Coach, your Coach Cass, what do you say at half? Your Coach Keith, what do you say at half?
Well, Coach Cass, you probably correct a few minor mistakes. They made a couple penalties he didn't like, and they had a delay of game, but he can't say many negative things. They did just what he wanted. They came out and took domination, and then they made a statement for the rest of the season.
Excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt, but can he smile? I mean, he's up 26-0. What's he upset about?
John he's a hard-nosed guy, and he doesn't smile much. On the other hand, you know, it's going to be a tough thing for Coach Keith to say anything positive, but, you know, he knew he was coming into the game with a senior team that hadn't played much. So, you know, There he is, talking to his kids. One thing I'm sure of, he won't quit. He'll hang in there. His kids will come back. Remember, they got to play another 7 games. This is just 1 game in the season. It might not be the best start they have, but they'll come back, and they'll be in the running in their league, I think.
And no question, with only 3 seniors with any experience from last season, a lot of teaching to do for Coach Keith.
Yeah, but he's also got a kid named Matt Berman that he can build his program around.
And the second half kickoff is away, and that very well, Matt Berman takes the ball, and he gets pummeled there at the 29-yard line. I don't know if you want your quarterback taking those kind of hits on special teams, Coach.
Well, he's been out there on every kickoff and punt. It's been a little surprising to me that he did that, but he is out there.
And as Scarsdale prepares for their first offensive play, our main man, the third man in the booth. Well, we'll go to Rob Astorino in a second. First, you see Berman. He tried to slide, but he didn't get down in time.
He didn't get those legs down quick enough.
So Scarsdale down 26-0. They had 1 good drive in the first half, but it resulted in a turnover. And now Berman back behind center. He has 1 back. Captain Matt Capone behind him. Little rush up the gut. Short gain by Capone. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Right now, let's head down to our third man, Rob Astorino. He is down with some police officers, I believe.
Well, I'm with 2 Scarsdale fans. They both have very long faces by the score. And what's going on here? No comment? Well, they're actually 2 horses from the mounted unit from the Rockland County Sheriff's Department, and no problems tonight, huh?
None whatsoever. Everything's nice and calm.
And who cleans up after these horses?
We certainly do.
You do.
But when you're asking the horse questions, it's a yes or no question he'll answer only.
Not too good on details, huh? Well, one last thing, I got a speeding ticket on the thruway. Any chance you can help me?
Maybe my horse can.
All right, good. Back to you guys.
Rob Astorino finding friends wherever he can make them. Those 2 horses look like his best pals in the night. While we race, 2nd down pass by Matt Berman, almost intercepted, and that would have been another 6 points for Nyack. But 3rd down, 6 yards to go. Right away, Coach, 3rd and 6. You need a first down. You got to start something if you're Scarsdale.
Yeah, and if you look down there, I think it's a little more like 3rd down and 9 instead of 6. And they really just need a first down, a couple of first downs, move the chains, get a little positive attitude going in your offense.
Okay, Capone behind Berman. He's the 1 back, 3 receivers. Man in motion. Play action pace, and Jason Alcine comes in with the sack.
Well, what happened there is they stunted both Alcine and they both got inside, but Jason Alcine is just, boy, he is an unsung star on this football team. Maybe Beeman's going to score the touchdowns and King's going to throw to him, but I'll tell you, Jason Alcine can play for anybody in Section 1.
Alcine with 9 rushes for 159 yards in the first half. A couple great tackles, and right there, a fantastic sack. 4th down. It will be punting time. Justin Cohen in for the 4th time tonight. And 2 men back, Beeman and Evans for Nyack. Clean snap, and it's a nice high kick. Not really end over end. Bounces right on the Scarsdale side. Now over to the Nyack side. It will be down just at midfield by the quarterback, Matt Berman. So first drive of the second half starts out at the 50-yard line. Not bad for Nyack.
Well, it's been too many of those 3 downs and outs, and that's what's hurt them in the whole first half. Now we're in the second half, and they're starting the same way. You cannot give Nyack a short field. You're letting them go 50 yards in for a score each time. Can't do that.
And now we'll see how long Coach Cass, assuming the game goes as it is, remains with Ronnie King. Obviously, King, his money player, he makes everything go. So he is still under center. Beeman and Alcine back behind him. And the wing tee. King with it on the outside, and he is gone. 40, 35, 30, 25, 20. Great move by Ronnie King. He will score a touchdown. Coach Ronnie King.
Well, he's only been a part of 4 touchdowns that were just major. 3 beautiful passes, and now he scores one himself on the option keeper.
And there have been a lot of great plays tonight. Certainly, in my opinion, that's the nicest run. Fake to Alcine up the middle. He took it on the keeper on the option play, and he was gone. Made 3 or 4 nifty moves downfield. And just as they did in the first half when they scored with just over 2 minutes gone, here, still 9 minutes, 24 seconds left in the third quarter. Look.
And they score on the second play.
Right, 32-0. Nigel Morris in, trying yet another kick. He's missed 2 thus far, made 3.
This has been the most exciting part of the game to see whether Nigel can get the ball up over the crossbar.
Well, let's see if he can keep his job. Nigel Morris kick. It is up, and it is through.
That's the way it is always. Just give him a little criticism, and he has his best kick.
33-0, and now, Coach,
now
tell me about
watch
this run.
King. He's just an outstanding back. Watch the moves he makes. He made one back there. There's number 2. Now he's going to cut back to the left. He's all gone. Pokes it away. See, he has outstanding speed. He's just as fast as Beeman and Alcine, and you can see he's a good-looking kid. Boy, what a complete football player. Like I told you, he's the leader of the ball club. He makes them go. And, well, I don't know if he's the player of the game, but he's certainly one of them.
And the man who he kind of broke the ankles of, the man with the early favorite for best name in football, unfortunately, the safety for Scarsdale, Zam Adimora. But he's not the only one to get beat by Ronnie King tonight. 3 touchdowns in the air. Now his 4th one. The first one on the ground, and now, hey, he can do everything. He's going to kick off for Nyack, score 33-0, 9 minutes, 24 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter.
I'm mad at you now because you got that name in first. I've been looking to say that name the whole ball game.
Zam Adimora. He's the safety for Scarsdale, early favorite for name of the year. And King with the kick. It's a low kick, fielded by nice catch by D'Ancelli, and he takes a wallop. D'Ancelli went right. All of his team went left, and he just gets pummeled by number 54, David Durham.
Greg, this is the 2nd time on a kickoff this kid has really got stuck. Watch this. He turns up, and look at that hit. I think that was by number 88. Boy, what a great stick.
Yeah, that was 86, Will Leon.
86, Will Leon, boy.
Talking to Coach Cass this week, Leon's a starter at tight end and on the D-line. He was their surprise of camp.
Yeah, well, first of all, he's replacing one of the best tight ends in football. Well, look at that scoring drive. I thought it was 3 plays. Look at it, was 5, and then finally just 50-yard TD run, 1 play.
So let's see if Scarsdale can get anything going. They certainly need it, down 33-0. Berman behind center. That's a handoff, and Jason Alcine with the absolute stuff on Rob Matzkin.
And he got help from Michael Thibodeau, number 4, who came up and filled with him. Boy, what a great stick. Look at that by Jason Alcine. And there you see Thibodeau come up.
See Thibodeau just trying to pad his stats with a half play.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just dominating by Alcine. A picture-perfect tackle.
Right, Ted Renee coming in, getting his hands in there a little bit. But the big thing is there's 3 or 4 hats on every single tackle. Well, it is hard to get your team motivated now, and it becomes a demoralizing situation. You've given up almost 60 points in a row without scoring a touchdown, counting last year and this year.
And already 400 yards offense by the Nyack Indians. 2nd down and 10. Furman rolls left. Penalty flags fly. He throws deep. And, we almost had a little tip drill going, but the pass falls incomplete.
Very nice pass, though. He throws the ball. I mean, Matt Berman throws this ball so well. It's too bad it can't be caught. I think we're going to have a procedure call against. We got to.
Yep, just as you called it, Coach. That's why you get paid the big bucks. Illegal procedure, 15 yards. That'll be a 5-yard penalty if they accept.
I wouldn't.
Legal formation, 6 men on the line of scrimmage. Decline, 3rd down.
Coach, tell us why they declined that penalty.
Well, you got 3rd and 10. I've only got 1 play to make a 1st down. Why make it 2nd and 15 and give them 2 plays? No sense in that. But I'm still impressed with Matt Berman. He's rolling the opposite way. Very hard for a quarterback in high school to roll to the left, still throw the ball 30 yards down. He hit his target. The target didn't catch the ball.
Right. When in the NFL, they talk about Brett Favre being probably the best ever at doing that John Elway. Certainly Matt Berman, that's a skill that's very difficult to master, going one way, throwing the other way. Well, so it's 3rd and 10. Berman behind center. Capone behind him. Fakes and a quick jump pass, and it is a reception and a 1st down. Steve D'Ancelli with his best offensive play of the night. That was a quick pass, kind of an old-school jump pass, almost 2-step drop. But, hey, got him a 1st down. They badly needed that.
Used to be my favorite pass. Fake a little quick dive to the back, either throw to the onside or throw to the offside. It's very difficult for a linebacker to make this play because you got to honor the run play first. And if you got to sure-handed receiver making a 5-yard, 6-yard gain. Nice play. He caught it and made a first down.
And certainly Scarsdale's best offensive play since their second drive of the game when they got down to the 15-yard line before the turnover. So Berman calling out the signals, telling them what to do in the huddle. It's 1st and 10, 6 minutes, 50 seconds remaining in the third quarter. 33-0. The Nyack Indians, the #1 rated team preseason, having their way. Man in motion. Give it right up to the up back, and he is stuck yet again. Jason Alcine, he got a little help that time from number 79, Nick Braga, but Alcine, he really brings it.
Sure does. And I mean, Capone is not an easy back to bring down. He's a good-sized lad. I mean, 6'1", 225, and yet Jason Alcine comes up, meets him right on the line of scrimmage, and holds him to a 1-yard gain.
And Steve Giancelli, who made that great play before that, the 15-yard pass reception. He's the senior. He's their, according to Coach Keith, their best offensive weapon. Hopefully during the season they'll get him in the game more. Second down. Berman goes to pass the slant. Oh, his favorite target, Huffnagel, right in his hands, but this time no cigar. It'll be 3rd and 10. Coach, that was another great pass.
It's another great pass, and you have to understand too that Huffnagel caught about 5 nice passes. Now here's good protection. Let's give some credit to this line up front. A little bit of a sidearm delivery, but the ball's right in his hands. You know, but the 2 or 3 times Huffnagel's caught the ball today, after he's caught it, he's got stuck pretty well. So he might be looking a little bit and hearing a little bit of a footstep out there. That's a quick pass, and if that safety or free strong safety comes up and sticks you, I understand it. This is high school. These guys aren't getting paid for doing this. Nobody's on a scholarship. They're just student athletes, and every one of them's playing their heart out there.
3rd and 9. Berman back. Going the side screen, and that is stopped for no gain. Alcine comes and brings the medal, but Michael Thibodeau made that play by stopping it to the outside, and then Alcine showing yet again, he just he laid the wood to Jeff Leslie.
You really called it, because it really was Thibodeau that made the play. He comes out here and shuts it off right there, misses the tackle, gets some support though. He got a little help from number 57, who hasn't been starting on defense, but boy, he came in and made a hit too. And then of course, Jason Alcine came in.
Yeah,
57 was Robert Yusko, who plays on offense, but starts on O. He came up and made a nice play on D too.
Justin Cohen in for his 5th punt of the evening on this 4th and 10. The snap is a little low. Catch is good. Punt is up. Punt is good. Nigel Morris lets it drop, and now that will roll inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. Coach Cass actually probably can't be happy with that. Should have caught the ball.
Well, I was going to say, Nigel Morris made a sophomore mistake there. Not only didn't he catch the ball, he almost touched the ball, which would have caused the turnover. And, you know, that comes with experience. You either make the fair catch signal, but you never want to let the ball hit the ground, because if it does, it's probably going to advance for 10 yards. And that's a sophomore mistake. But from what I hear from Coach Cass, Nigel Morris is the next star at Nyack after the senior class graduates.
Yeah, he's still very slight, build only 175 pounds, but he has great speed. He's their backup halfback. He's their starting free safety. He has great instincts, so it's just a matter of time. See if he does indeed follow in the footsteps of Beeman and become a next star running back, star defender at Nyack. In fact, Ronnie King is his backup on defense, but because Ronnie King's such a good quarterback, Coach Cass isn't about to put him out there for defensive purposes. And just that man, Nigel Morris, takes the pitch, and nice skip and a jump, and a first down. We just talked about him, showing what he can do.
Well, it was an outstanding downfield block in there by Shenley Vital, too, going downfield. We don't give credit sometimes to the wideouts, but Shenley got down there and made a nice stick. There he is, catching the ball, taking the ball on a sweep, just turning the corner, and like most of the Nyack backs, he has great speed. He makes a little hurdle move, and then he right in there, you'll see right next to him was Shenley, and he made a block to give him an extra couple of yards.
So another first down for Nyack. Quarterback Ronnie King still under center. Beeman behind. They give the ball straight up the gut to Beeman, and he just piles on to his yards. He had 159, excuse me, that was Alcine. He had 159 yards at half. He'll just increase, except a penalty flag down.
All right, it's just again the belly play, and look at Jason Elfin break the tackle. Alcine, he just comes forward, and we get a penalty. I think it's going to be against Nyack procedure again, I believe. Now we got a couple of subs in there, so maybe, oh, did he give the holding penalty? That's going to be a 10-yard penalty.
Holding. Still first down.
On that kind of a play, that's usually at the point of attack. When you run the belly play, you have two double teams, the tackle on the tight end and the guard in the center. Probably one of those guys holding.
So it is a first down yet again, but it looks like first and about 17 for Nyack. Beeman back in the game. So they're really doing running back by committee, kind of putting players in each play. But Beeman and Alcine behind King. First and 16, 33-0 with the lead. And Beeman gets the ball, and he has an opening. Oh, great juke. Nice open field tackle that time by your man. Say his name. You didn't get to say his name. Say his name.
Sam Adamora. That's the... I've been waiting all night to do that. All right, this is just, again, the handoff to this off-tackle play. And, well, what can you say about Darren Beeman? He just comes up, and that's a nice tackle. Actually, I thought if he had made the juke and cut outside, he had a touchdown. He actually made the juke and cut back into the pressure.
But Addie Moore making the tackle 20 yards down. He was the first guy that touched Darren Beeman. Obviously, another great job by the offensive line.
Most definitely.
So first down just on the Scarsdale side of the ball. Oh, my God. Jason Alcine making moves.
What's impressive is he makes the move, he stops dead, and then he accelerates, Craig. Those moves are outstanding. It's just, like I said, for a fullback, he just has, now that's running to the right. He makes a move, cuts all the way back to the other side of the center, makes a second move, a third move, and look at him, he always goes north and south going forward. Boy, that's a fullback. I mean, you know, you're talking about a guy that's normally just running the ball inside, making yardage.
Beeman and King have scored the touchdowns, but Alcine's really done it on both sides of the ball. He's certainly their most valuable defender thus far tonight. And King keeps it, and he goes wide, and he is open yet again. He is at the 20. He's at the 15, the 10, the 5. Ronnie King, touchdown number 2. And it is 39-0.
Well, just another outstanding option play. The same play he scored on before. He's running the keeper off it. He doesn't have to pitch because he's got such great speed. And the first fake to Alcine is outstanding. But again, let's go back to the people that do the work in the trenches. Nick Braga, Marty McGinnis, Teddy Renee, and Bob Yusko pulling on the other side, making that play. You can't do it without the horses up front.
39-0 Nyack now with the lead as they try, as Nigel Morris attempts the extra point. That is 5 touchdowns for Ronnie King. 3 passing, 2 running. And here comes the fun part. Morris attempting the extra point. See if we can make it a nice 40. The snap, the kick, it is up. It is good. 40-0, 2 minutes, 38 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
I figured it out. Nigel gets better under pressure. Here's the option. Good fake to Alcine inside. Break down the corner. Just keep the ball. Now it's just a matter of foot speed. He breaks to the outside, takes it in untouched.
Yeah, I mean, as you can see how good King is. Coach, I got to ask you, it's 40-0. He's your most valuable player. He might be the best player in the county in Section 1. Is it time to take him out?
Well, I don't want to criticize, but I would say at this point in the game, I would get my starters out of there and have them ready for next week. They got a big ball game coming, and that might be a good idea.
Yeah, certainly the hometown crowd enjoying it here at McCalman Field in the town of Nyack. Not actually at Nyack High School, at the old high school right in the middle of town. Definitely over 1,000 people, a couple thousand people here. The stands are full, and they've been treated to quite a drubbing. 40-0, 2 minutes, 38 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
Well, there's nothing I'd rather do on a Friday night than be here and watching a football game. I kind of wish it was a little bit closer, but the weather's beautiful, the company isn't so bad, and the football team of Nyack is outstanding. Scarsdale's taking a licking, and but I think they're going to come back and have a decent season. They're going to learn from this. Sometimes you learn more from losing than you do from winning.
Certainly, and the kickoff by King, and yet again for the second time today, a mental mistake made by Scarsdale. That's Rob Matzkin, the running back. He put his knee down, so it'll be 1st and 10 at the 24 for Scarsdale, down 40-0, and our main man, Rob Astorino, is with 2 fine young ladies. Rob?
Players got to get here somehow, and Brenda and Margie with the Scarsdale Union Free School District, they drive these buses. Any traffic coming over on the bridge?
It's Friday night, coming across the Tappan Zee Bridge. Yeah. What do you think?
I bet these players coming here were more excited than they are when they go home.
Definitely, especially if they win.
Well, this is not going to be a loud ride home.
Oh, that's not nice to say.
Well, you know, you got to look at the scoreboard. Can I do something I've always wanted to do when I was a little child in a bus? I always wanted to shut the door. Can I do that?
Go for it.
I love that. I know it. I don't know why. We're going to talk about this while we go back up to you guys.
We all have our dreams, Rob. Just keep going. Second down play, looks like there was a penalty flags flying before the flat. That could mean illegal procedure. Oh, an offsides penalty against Nyack.
First down.
So it'll be first down and 5.
You think there might be a bus job for Bob in the future? Maybe there is position there for him.
Hey, absolutely. You know, he goes from doing the firing line challenge. But we can look, Coach, King's name all over this. All 3 Beeman touchdowns have King's name, and that time, again, a very quick strike offense. They only have 1 drive of 10 plays.
Look at those last 2 there. They're both option keepers. That's 85 yards in 2 plays for 2 touchdowns. That's, 12 points.
First and 5. Capone behind Berman. Berman with the fake handoff. Oh, he hands off right into the middle. Nice move, but he just, number 21, Zamzam Adimora, getting time at running back now, just so we can say his name more. Made a couple jukes, but there was no blocking there. Gain of maybe 1. It's now probably going to be 2nd and 4.
Nice move, though. They made a nice move. Nyack's defense is very quick and adjusted to it, but pretty nice run by Zamzam. Fake to the... That's actually a crossbuck play, faking one direction and handing back in the other direction. There's a second move by Zamzam. I'm impressed.
But you can see, even though they're up 40-0, the Nyack defense still swarming, not relying on 1 man.
I'm sorry, Chris. You got to have 2 moves if you have 2 names, Zamzam.
Absolutely. 1 just isn't enough. So 2nd and 4. Berman behind center. Man in motion. Again, the quick pass, and this time the defense jumps on it, and it's an interception. That was tipped by Jason Alcine, and it was intercepted by number 40, Othaniel Baptiste. It worked once, didn't work twice.
Now, this was the play we talked about before. This is the pop pass. You fake to the halfback, and a great play by Alcine. He's the one that made the play. Someone else made the interception, but he's the one that caused it.
Yeah, Alcine showing great instincts, I guess. And Berman coming off the field dejected. He'll have better days. 40-0 with 40 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. And Ronnie King back to lead the team. We'll see how many starters, how many reserves are out there. At this moment, Beeman and Alcine both out of the game. King hands it off to Mike Thibodeau, and this man is rumbling. 5'9", 225, get out of my way. 15 yards and a first down.
Well, I know one thing. I'm sure the Spring Valley coaches are thinking, if this is the kind of player he is, my gosh, we lost somebody that's a good football player.
Yeah, and that will be it looks like that'll be the last play of the 3rd quarter, and it will. 3 quarters down, 1 quarter to go. Nyack 40, Scarsdale nothing. The number 1 team living up to its billing. 40-0. We'll be back with the 4th quarter. You're watching Cablevision Sports.
Excuse me, ma'am. May we help you cross?
Well, that would be lovely, boys.
Scouting, where character counts.
Oh, I think I forgot my purse up there.
To support the Hudson Valley Council, Boy Scouts of America, call 497-7337.
Growing up backstage here at the Apollo Theater, I had some incredible teachers. I mean, they could show me a move and make it stick. Today, when teachers look for creative ways to reach a kid, they turn to cable in the classroom. With donated cable technology, teachers connect kids to a world of commercial-free educational programs. With free study guides and internet support, cable helps teachers make it stick. Nice moves, Cable in the Classroom.
Cable in the Classroom is a public service of Cablevision.
Negative campaign tactics, personal attacks, distortion. Every time politicians use negative tactics, they smear the very meaning of America. Now is the time to tell politicians, keep it clean. The future is in your hands. Support positive political campaigns. Tell your candidate to keep it clean.
All right, we are underway here in the 4th quarter. Mike Thibodeau with another run. 40-0, all Nyack. They were rated number 1 preseason, and certainly if one game is any indication, as the Moon looks on, if the Moon's a Scarsdale fan, he's not too happy. If the Moon's a Nyack fan, very happy. Beautiful night, opening night, and Nyack really putting a whopping on them.
Well, Nyack's got a new backfield in there, except for Ronnie King. Everybody else in there is a new player, and that doesn't mean much because they're awfully good backups.
And Nigel Morris, he whips outside, tries to make a move outside, and he is finally tackled at the 4-yard line. But now you have their backup halfback, Nigel Morris, he's a sophomore. Backup fullback, Mike Steveno, he's a senior. But Morris, I mean, we could be looking at who's going to star next year and the year after, and certainly Ronnie King, this is his last year. Next year they may have to rely on Nigel Morris as the running back.
Oh, most definitely. And Nigel Morris is a real quick back. He made 2 moves in there in 10 yards to get himself a couple extra.
So it's first and goal. Nyack 4 yards away from adding on even more to their 40-0 lead. Just underway in the 4th quarter. 10 minutes, 40 seconds remaining. King under center. Full house backfield. Steveno up the gut, and it is a touchdown. Mike Steveno's first touchdown as a member of the Nyack Indians.
Yeah, just a belly play, a very sound job, but again, done really well by the offensive line of Nyack. I don't know how many of them in there are starters, but if they're not, then it was Tom Mulcahy and Bob Yusko and Will Leone. But outstanding blocking up front. Yeah, that's where it gets you those holes. And, you know, at this point, it's hard for the Scarsdale kids to keep their head up. And, you know, they're trying, but at this point, they're just way, way overmatched.
Yeah, a lot of cheering for the Nyack High School cheerleaders. A lot of reason to cheer. 46-0 as Nigel Morris attempts the extra point. 10 minutes, 30 seconds to go in this 4th quarter. The snap, the hold, the kick. It's up. It's good. Nice spiral. 47-0 now. Cheerleaders are going. They're getting a lot of face time. When your team does well as a cheerleader, you get a lot of face time. If your team doesn't do so well, then you don't get good face time. So obviously, these cheerleaders could be looking at a lot of face time this year because Nyack's so good.
Well, that's for sure. You know, I'm impressed by Nigel. He does his best kicking job under pressure. Whenever a guy's right in his face, he gets a nice high kick. When he has too much time, he seems to plant his foot and make a low one. But again, hard night for Scarsdale. I've been in that position. I know what it's like. It's hard to keep your chin up, but they'll be back, and well, maybe they'll have a better success next week. Nyack, we know, they got a tough ball game coming up with Horace Greeley, but they certainly made a statement tonight. Naturally, Greeley's here watching them, and they're going to get a good look, but Nyack will go see Greeley tomorrow, and it'll all even out.
Yeah, and obviously, as is shown tonight, for Greeley to have a shot, they got to stop that man, Ronnie King. They got to stop number 34, Darren Beeman, and they got to stop number 32, Mr. Alcine. I mean, all 3 of them have had dominating games. Each one of them having a good game could lead you to win. All 3 of them having good games, it's almost impossible to stop.
And the reason they're having those good games is they got an inexperienced line that has grown a lot tonight. They've gotten much better. They've opened up great holes. They've given Ronnie King a lot of time to throw the ball. So it's all been a complete package. Everything's worked on their offense.
And King with the kickoff from the 40-yard line. It is a high end-over-end. Caught and run right up the middle. Another stuff by the Nyack defense. The captain, Steve D'Ancelli, getting the tough yards up to the 35. And as the Scarsdale offense comes up, Coach, we can look at the Nyack season schedule. You've been talking about their game at Greeley next week. Are there any stumbling blocks? Should they go through this undefeated? Are they expected to be undefeated after this schedule?
Oh, well, I don't know about undefeated. I know they're going to have some tough games in here. Spring Valley's a very sound team. North has a tendency to play them well. And Suffern last year and the year before gave them great ball games. And Greeley certainly is one of the toughest opponents in their league. So they'll have some competition.
But certainly everything going Nyack's way thus far this evening. 9 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in this 4th quarter. Nyack up 47-0. And Scarsdale quarterback Matt Berman, tough way, kind of learning under fire here in his first varsity game. He was good early, struggled recently. But Berman under center, D'Ancelli behind him. 2 wideouts and a slot back. Berman to D'Ancelli right up the gut. He makes a couple moves. He's fighting and he fumbles. Ball on the ground and looks like Scarsdale will recover, so that's a nice run by D'Ancelli. Fumbled at the end. That's an 8-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 2.
D'Ancelli taking the ball right on a quick hitter up inside, running behind his right guard, Jason Weisfuss, and his right tackle, Danny Nee. He coughs it up, but one of his white shirts come up and make the play for him.
Yep,
Ends up being a nice gainer for him.
And that was Nigel Morris, the sophomore we talked about, with the hit to knock the ball loose. So it'll be 2nd and 2. The whole Scarsdale offense came in, and quarterback Matt Berman talking to Coach Keith. Now he runs back out. And, you know, we haven't talked much about Nyack's defense, aside from talking about Alcine, but they haven't let up a point. And the first drive, it looked like, oh, actually, excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm totally sorry. That was a fumble. And I guess it was recovered by Scarsdale. And now Ronnie King is out of the game. Backup quarterback Eric Clegg in for the first time. And right away we have an opening. We have a long run. First down. That's Shenley Vital, who plays receiver usually. So now it looks like really whole-scale substitutions. All the starting backs are out for Nyack. Now this backup quarterback, Eric Clegg, he's a sophomore, 5'10", 160 pounds, absolutely zero experience whatsoever. They were expecting to have another quarterback who's ineligible, right?
Yes, that's what he told us, that the regular backup quarterback last year was a good player. And I'm surprised, but unfortunately he's ineligible. So this is a nice time for Eric to get some playing time. He'll get the better part of 8 minutes here, and that's what he needs.
Okay. That's a nice run. Let's go down before this next play. Let's go down to Rob Estrino. I think he has some very important questions for some of the fans. He's looking for something.
To admit, I'm a little starstruck, and I came over here to Rockland County with my map of the stars, but I can't find where Rosie O'Donnell lives here in Nyack. Where does Rosie O'Donnell live?
All I know, she live on the hill somewhere around here.
On the hill somewhere? What hill?
Congress. I think it's Congress.
Florence, where does she live? Where does Rosie O'Donnell live?
She changed her mind and moved back to Connecticut.
Wait a minute. She's not here?
No.
Who is going to call me a cutie patootie?
I will.
Can you please do it?
Cutie patootie.
Thank you very much. Back up to you guys.
Yep, our man Rob going to any lengths to get a compliment. All right.
Well, the second backfield here, they've been running the ball off tackle on both of those carries. Those were bellies. Brings up a 3rd and 5, and they haven't gone outside to explode like they've been doing with the starting offense, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see it now.
And King, Beeman, and Alcine all standing there, helmets off on the sideline. Their night may be over offensively and defensively. Eric Clegg, the 5'10" sophomore, coming up. Nathaniel Baptiste behind him. And he hands off right up the gut, number 22. And that's a great run by number 22, Jeffrey Bluette. That's his first carry of the game. He's a short little guy.
5'5", 125 pounds, Craig.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like he's not as old as the other guys. Looks a little shorter, but hey, great run. He's shown he has speed too. He's an 11th grader.
11th grader, and he got a first down. It was a nice gainer. He got 5 yards. Did a great job for a junior, 125 pounds.
And you know, obviously this is extensive garbage time, as Marv Albert likes to say, but important. Any injury, these teams don't have that much depth, so any injury and any one of these players could get the call. Nigel Morris with a handoff right. He looks to go wide. Great speed, cuts it back. Defeats one tackle, and finally tackled by Jeff Leslie down near the goal line, inside the 5-yard line. Great move by Nigel Morris. He has the moves.
Well, like I said, they had been running the ball in the interior, and finally they ran the ball outside on a sweep, and Nigel is a future star for Nyack, and he's got excellent outside speed, and we're going to see a lot of him in the next couple of years.
Well, time counting down, 5 minutes, 18 seconds remaining, 47-0 Nyack with the lead. Their entire second-string backfield in the game, but they can run the ball too. Their offensive line still doing the job. It's 1st and goal now at the 3-yard line.
You know, Nyack only has 31 or 32 players on his varsity team, so like you say, if someone gets hurt, you have to have somebody ready to play, and this is why they put these guys in now in mop-up time, and they have to get ready for the future too.
Clegg with the handoff interior to Mr. Nathaniel Baptiste, and Baptiste scores. Nathaniel Baptiste, first touchdown of the season, probably his first touchdown of his career. Yet again.
Yeah,
Nyack too strong in the middle.
Now we got Michael Thibodeau and Nathaniel Baptiste both scoring their first touchdown on the varsity for Nyack. making the score at this point 53-0.
Yeah, so 53-0, 4 minutes, 43 seconds remaining. And yet again, we say it. Nyack came into the game, the #1 stamp stuck on their shirts in the preseason, and they've done nothing to dispel that. Definitely over 500 yards in total offense, and Nigel Morris with the kick. It's up, and it's good. 54-0. Nyack with the lead. Just a dominating performance. And here, Othaniel.
This is Othaniel carrying the ball, just on a reverse pivot belly. Just gives him the ball off tackle, follows his blockers, dips his shoulders. Watch the legs, though. He keeps the legs going forward, and he just about falls down on the line for 6.
So 4 minutes and 43 seconds remaining, 54-0. Nyack with the lead. Not a bad day to be a Nyack Indians fan. And it certainly seems, Coach, like there are going to be a lot of nice Friday nights and Saturdays for Nyack this season.
Most definitely. We haven't seen anything that surprised us, but if anything, I'm a little bit alarmed because they're even better than I thought they were.
Yeah, certainly. Their offensive line has been dominant. Their defense has been dominant.
Well, when you say they've scored now, what was it last year, 24? So that's 78 points in a row, and they haven't given up a point to Scarsdale. That's a pretty significant difference. And, you know, we haven't talked very much about the D, but they've kept almost every series to 3 yards and a punt or 3 yards and a turnover. That's a big factor in the ballgame.
And when we talked to Coach Cass this week, that's what he was concerned about, his defense. He started 4 sophomores on defense. He's never started 4 sophomores on defense, but hey, when you got these senior leadership, those senior linebackers, they've done a great job. King with the kickoff. It's high and fumbled by Maskin, and he is now swarmed under by Nyack. So it'll be 1st and 10. We'll see if Matt Berman comes out yet again.
You know, it's interesting. If you were going to find maybe one small weakness on Nyack, you might say it's their kickoff player. Actually, King is doing a decent job, but it really isn't a long kick. And if they come into a close game, there's a good hit and a good wrap-up. But that could be one small weakness because he's getting the ball outside the 20 on almost every kick.
So 4 minutes, 20 seconds remaining, 54-0. Nyack with the lead. We're playing out the string here. 1st down and 10. Berman on behind him. And a wide handoff, a pitch, and Mike Schwartz, 5-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 5. Clock ticking down. Coach, you know, we're going to look at the Scarsdale schedule in a second. How much better can they be at the end of the season than they are now, given that, I mean, there's not too many good things you can take from this game?
No, that's very true, but on the other hand, they've got teams in there that are in the same boat they are. Fort Chester's team program hasn't been that outstanding lately. That's a pretty sound league, though. I think that might even be as difficult a league as Nyack has. So if they go into the season this way, this is a bad start, but I'm hoping that maybe with Berman and a few other guys doing the job, they'll get it better.
And an inside handoff for Captain Steve Biancelli, and he gets hammered, and I mean hammered, by Jamar Watley. You know, they just keep bringing him and bringing him. Jamar Watley, a sophomore, 6 feet, 285 pounds. He put a licking that time on Mr. Biancelli.
Well, needless to say, I mean, I know it's 54-0, but at this point, you're a bench person from Nyack. You're in the game. God forbid you give up a score. The guys aren't starting D. They get mad at you. So they're going to be in there hitting too. They're going to be banging heads, and they don't want to give up a score because they know their teammates are going to be all over them.
And it's a timeout on the field. Timeout called by the Scarsdale Red Raiders. And as we can look, you talked about the different leagues, the different divisions. If we can put them up now, Coach, if you could just handicap these divisions for us.
Well, we talked about this before. I said that I thought Spring Valley and Suffern would be the toughest competition on this side of the river. Saunders, in the past, has been down a little bit. I've been told Ossinings's having a little trouble fielding a full team, so I'm not even sure they're going to be in there. So I would think in the Nyack division, probably Suffern and Spring Valley would be the best toughest competition.
Okay. Moving on. The North Division.
Well, this is a very balanced division, in my opinion. Brewster was state champs last year. Yorktown was a 4 and 5 team last year, but 2 or 3 years ago they were a real power. Lourdes is a good football team. Poughkeepsie, I don't know too much about. Panis, this is their first year fielding a varsity team. They just split off with Lakeland, so he had a nice write-up in the paper, but I'd say the powers in that league are probably Yorktown and Brewster.
And finally, if we head over to the East Division, and this is Scarsdale's division. We just saw basically all these teams which were on Scarsdale's schedule.
Well, I'd say Greeley and John Jay would certainly be heads and shoulders above everybody else. Those happen to be the powers.
And if we go back to Brewster, they were the team that ended the dreams, the undefeated dreams, the sectional title dreams of Nyack last year in an upset. You were at that game.
Yeah, that was an upset, but you know they went on and won the state championship, so I don't know if it was an upset. They were an outstanding person.
All right, third down. Third down. Berman with a keeper, and he just gets mauled under. So it'll be fourth down, 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go. And fourth down for Scarsdale. Quickly, let's go down to our main man, Rob. Rob?
Well, what's life without a little music? I got a buck. I got to get a request here. Do you take requests?
Yes, we do.
You know Louie Louie?
I think we know that. We know Louie Louie.
Yeah! All right, go to it. And I'm going to do a little conducting here. Pretty good. I like them. Send it back upstairs.
Great job. I think that Rob, basically, he does this just to find other job opportunities. Conductor, bus driver, friend of horses, horse friend, whatever that job opportunity would be. Anyway.
On that last play out there, Craig, Scarsdale had a 4th and 1. They went for it on their side of the 50, and they made the first down, and that gives them a good feeling, at least for this few minutes, the last part of the ball game. 1:35 left up on the clock.
Yep, 1:30 to go. 54-0. Scarsdale with the lead. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Scarsdale behind. Scarsdale only with one good offensive drive, and that was way back in the first quarter. Berman under center. Pitch to Schwartz. Schwartz with a little daylight. A couple stiff arms, and he's dives right at the first down marker where he is tackled there by Nathaniel Baptiste. Baptiste just scored his first varsity touchdown. And now we are under a minute left. 54-0, Nyack with the lead. And let's check out this replay, Coach. Just a great, nice run, and then a little in your face at the end.
I'm happy to see that. It's a backup QB, and it's nice to see a young man come in and do a good job. He has good size, by the way. Look at him. He's quite a bit bigger in there, I think, than I thought he was.
35 seconds remaining. Only a couple plays left for Scarsdale. Up the gut, and a great tackle. Great tackle by Tom O'Kay. He's a senior, 245 pounds, 5'11". 22 seconds left. Will we get another playoff, or is that the end of the game? We shall see. We're now at 15. You can see it there on your screen.
I'm sure at this point Scarsdale hopes they don't. They just get to close it out.
Scarsdale coming up. We might have one more play in the game. 5. Well, we'll see. They get it off. Berman running. Crowd's going off. They think it's over. Berman making a last-gasp effort, and he is run down. So it is over in dominating fashion. The fans here love it. The hometown fans love it. Nyack, the #1 ranked preseason team, 54-0 over Scarsdale. Really a dominating performance. I mean, obviously you can say everything was great, but is this team as advertised?
Well, when you can rush for 250 yards at halftime and also have 100 yards or more for passing in a half, that gives you some 350 yards. There was Coach and talking to the outstanding quarterback, Ronnie King, who threw for 3 touchdown passes and ran for 2 of the most beautiful keepers on options that I've seen in high school football in a long time. So that really means he was only involved in 5 touchdowns. Not bad, huh, for the first night of the year. But again, I told you in the pregame, he is a leader. Now, he feels that he must do that for this team to win and for them to go on to Section, 1 prominence. And here's the handshake down on the field with the cheerleaders giving their hugs to the players. And, everything's great for Nyack, and it's going to be a long ride home for Scarsdale tonight. But, that's the way it happens. Unfortunately, only one team can win the ball game, and this night it was just all Nyack.
And you do like to see Nyack won with pride. They won with class. They certainly didn't showboat at the end. Very calm seniors. They expect to win. Obviously, Coach Cass, a strict disciplinarian, he wouldn't have them showboating at all. But 54-0 yet again. The first win in what, the Nyack seniors told us going into this game. They hope is an undefeated and a section winning season. So,
yeah, well, there's Coach Cass down there on the field with his players, and we saw him during the game. He was winning at one point in the game 32-0, and he was chewing guys out. He will not stand for mediocrity, nor will he stand for kids doing a bad job and not executing properly.
All right. And when we come back, Ronnie King, our player of the game, responsible for 5 touchdowns, and Coach Cass. You will hear from them down on the field with Rob. Don't go away. You are watching Cablevision Sports.
All right.
When you think of office furniture, one name should come into mind. Office Furniture USA, located in Nyack. Office Furniture USA is stocked with name brand office suites, computer stations, conference, meeting, and training room furniture at prices that are extremely competitive. Office Furniture USA, the most exciting office furniture store around. Our salespeople are knowledgeable, helpful, and genuine. And delivery is quick and easy. Go USA. Office Furniture USA.
We live and work in a time where everything moves fast. Often too fast. At higher speeds, little mistakes happen all the time. But those little mistakes generally aren't life-threatening. That's not true for highway workers. Excessive speed in highway work zones causes injuries and fatalities. Imagine working under those conditions. Slow down in work zones.
$54-0, a lot to talk about if you're with Nyack, and a lot of whimpering if you're on Scarsdale. Ronnie King, you threw like Sean King of the Bucks. What a good game you had today. 3 touchdowns, 2 running, long ones. Talk about it.
Well, the offensive line really came through today. Yeah. Everybody was getting on them because they're young or whatever, but they really played like they were veterans today, and that's what I liked about them.
Butterflies are out, huh?
Definitely.
Horace Greeley next week.
I'm looking forward to it. Got a little payback.
And you're all healthy, huh?
Yep.
All right, good job. Coach Castellano, well, I don't know if this is what you had on the blueprints, 54-0, but it was impressive.
Oh, Rob, I didn't think we played very well in the first half. We didn't look crisp. I thought defensively we were okay, but I didn't like the way our offense was clicking. We had a little talk at halftime, and I said, hey, forget the scoreboard. We just got to play. We got to look crisper. We got to, get off the ball a little bit better. And I thought in the second half we did a better job with that.
Well, what needs improving, if there is improving, for next week against Horace Greeley?
I think we need to do a better job with our interior blocking. The kids are young and they worked hard at it. I thought our outside game came along for us. I just think we got to get a little bit quicker off the ball.
Can you calm them down after a game like this? They're going to look into next week saying, oh, this is easy.
Well, they've been kind of looking forward to Greeley for a while. I mean, Billy Tribal does a great job over there. They beat us 2 years ago in the Section 1 semifinal here on this field, knocked us out of the playoffs. We didn't play them last year, so the Darren Beemans, the Ronnie Kings, Jason Alcines, they remember that. So I don't think there's much I need to do to get them ready for next week.
Coach Castellano, wonderful game 1, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you very much, Rob. Thanks again.
Big win, 54-0. We'll take a break, come back down on the field.
anything is more frustrating than golf, it's getting your company's telecommunications right. Some say missed deadlines and outdated technologies are par for the course. At LightPath, we say frustration may be unavoidable in golf, but it's unacceptable in business. So we work with you to customize the perfect communication solution. Frustration. It's designed into every golf course and eliminated from every LightPath solution. LightPath. Voice, data, internet, real human beings.
Negative campaign tactics, personal attacks, distortion. Every time politicians use negative tactics, they smear the very meaning of America. Now is the time to tell politicians, keep it clean. The future is in your hands. Support positive political campaigns. Tell your candidate to keep it clean.
Nothing. The Nyack Indians with a dynamic and impressive opening game win. Craig Thomas back with you here at McCalman Field. Just a dominating performance by Nyack. They were the #1 rated team preseason. And Coach Dale Abeling, they lived up to the #1 ranking thus far after one game. What can you say?
Well, it's one of the best backfields they've ever had, and everything about it was outstanding. We had one young man catch 3 touchdown passes and run the ball for about 70 yards. We had a fullback that just pounds the ball up inside and does everything. And then there's the player of the game, the guy that ran for 2 beautiful keepers on option plays, and he also 3 touchdown passes, Ronnie King. Just an overwhelming, impressive victory.
And you talked about Coach Cass. We talked about Coach Cass and how confident he was in this backfield coming into the game. Alcine, Beeman, and King. King's our player of the game. Alcine and Beeman could have been our players of the game too. But talk about their line. 54-0 shutout, pitching a shutout both sides of the ball. Their line is what did the
well, it
dirty
certainly
work.
did, and they lost one of their best players in the beginning of the second half. Well, I think it was just before the beginning. It was the end of the first half in Marty McGinnis. He didn't play in the second half, and they were a little bit concerned about that. He did twist his knee, I guess. But the line just did a bang-up job. They're just, you know, there were no mistakes tonight. You can't pick out one individual. It was a team victory.
And if we look at the final stats, just a dominating performance. We talked about they had over 250 yards of offense at halftime. So obviously the second half was almost just gravy, but running and passing, their offense is almost unstoppable.
Yeah, well, I think they had around 600 yards of offense. Just think about that, 600 yards in high school. And, you know, I'm sure Greeley's watching all that. They got to play him next week. But, you know, nobody lies down for anybody. Greeley will be ready, and I think next week they'll have a tough ball game.
And just once again, Beeman with 3 touchdown receptions. King, 3 touchdown passes, 2 rushes himself, both on quarterback keepers, 1 of 50 yards, 1 of 35. And Jason Alcine, the best player on defense with a lot of sticks, and he had 11 rushes for 179 yards. So those 3 guys were the keys coming into the game, and they certainly did the damage. As you can see, we'll show our next game coming up next weekend. We only got 1 game next Saturday and Sunday, but we'll be with you every weekend with a game or 2 on Cablevision Sports. Coach, not a bad way to kick off the 2000 season.
Remember what I told you, Section 1 football is pretty good, and I think you had a good time. Wish it would have been a little bit closer, but if you're a Nyack fan, you're happy. If you're a Scarsdale fan, you're going on unhappy, but they got to play 6 or 7 more, and they'll be back in it.
Okay, thank you very much, Coach. For Coach and my main man, Rob Astorino, I'm Craig Thomas. All the Cablevision crew, bang-up job. Don't forget, join us next weekend for our game and all throughout the fall. You are watching Cablevision Sports.
graffiti artist. That's coming up in our second half hour.
Defense attorney F. Lee Bailey is known for keeping people out of jail. Tonight, he's in jail. Bailey was swarmed by reporters and camera crews when he surrendered today in Florida. He even knocked down a cameraman to the ground. The member of the Simpson Dream Team began serving a 6-month sentence for contempt of court. He refused to turn over $25 million in stocks and cash he received from a convicted drug dealer he represented. The government says the dealer forfeited the money. Bailey claims the money was for him.